Jones electrified the crowd with a 70-yard TD run. The longest backfield TD run since O.J. Anderson raced 80 yards against Florida State in 1978. The first unit defense did their share in halting the Mountaineers' offense. Led by defensive end Darren Grine, the top sack man in the Big East Conference. As the Canes spell doomsday for West Virginia, 35-23 for their 50th straight home victory. The Temple Owls of Coach Jerry Burt will be the homecoming opponents at the Orange Bowl. And they hope to score through the air with a combination of Linhart to Lawhorn, the Owls' top offensive weapon. It's the Canes versus Temple, next on Sunshine Network. Sunshine Network presents University of Miami Hurricane Football. Brought to you by Old Milwaukee and Old Milwaukee Light. It doesn't get any better than this. And by the Olive Garden Italian Restaurant, where all the best of Italy is yours. Welcome to the Orange Bowl in Miami, Florida, homecoming 1993, and the last home game for 19 Hurricane seniors, as the #1 ranked Miami Hurricanes play host to the Temple Owls in a Big East Conference game. Hi, everybody. Sam Smith, along with former Dolphin great Nat Moore, and I don't need to tell you, it is a breezy, cloudy day here in Miami as we tee it up with the Canes against the Owls. And for the moment, anyway, the #1 slot on top of both of the college polls belong to the Miami Hurricanes, and that's been quite an argument over the last 2 years. But now the Canes have the destiny in their own hands, Nat Moore.
Well, Sam, that argument has now been settled. Who would have thought back on September 26, when Arizona came in and lost to Miami 8-7, that they would become the common denominator to settle the dispute by beating Washington 16-3. And this is the difference. Wide right, Steve McLaughlin missing a 51-yard field goal on Miami to remain undefeated.
And, of course, he went on to kick 3 field goals and giving Arizona a 16-3 win over Washington, thus knocking the Huskies out of the #1 spot. Well, you couldn't pick a better time of the year for Gino Torretta to really get his offense going. And Gino, the quarterback for the Canes, back in the Heisman Trophy chase.
Right, Gino Torretta is coming off 3 good games. He's completed over 63% of his passes for almost 1,000 yards with 9 TDs and only 1 interception, and he, without a doubt, has got to be the leading candidate for that Heisman Trophy.
Well, he's also only 5 touchdown passes away from surpassing another UM record for most touchdowns thrown of 48 held by Vinny Testaverde and Steve Walsh, and again, he comes in with 44 today. The second-team defense has been getting a lot of razzing over the last couple of weeks, mostly from their own teammates. They have not done well to hold up the big honor of the defense at Miami.
Well, this week, the defensive football team have been talking to these second-teamers because, as you can see, they've given up 40 points in the 2 fourth quarters of the last 2 ball games, and that's hurt them tremendously with the ability to repeat as the scoring leaders in the country.
Well, today, I think you can tell that the #1 defense has talked to #2 and may have a different story. They'll have to play very well against some skilled people for Temple. They come in only 1-8, but Jerry Byrne has some good people to throw and catch the ball. But maybe their best man will be a down lineman, and everybody likes Trey Johnson.
Preseason All-American, number 67, Trey Johnson, is one of the best in the country, and without a doubt, the best player on the entire Temple Owls football team.
Well, he's got great size, and he'll be a man. As a matter of fact, they run over his side when they're trying to get some short yardage, if indeed they get to that situation today. We've talked about great linebackers. Dennis and Hale, another good inside pair here.
2 real good inside linebackers that are both tough at the point of attack, but number 46, Hale, is the spiritual leader. He's the boisterous one, and he's the guy that motivates the team to get up and play, and they must play well if they're to stop that offensive machine of the Miami Hurricanes.
Hale, I guess you would call your free spirit. We've got a free spirit working with us down on the field. Joe Rose, another former Dolphin, is working our ball game down on the field here at the Orange Bowl. And how about the mindset of Dennis Erickson going into this ball game? Does he run up the score? How does he handle it? Let's go to Joe and find out. Joe?
Well, Sam, first of all, Coach Erickson all week long has been talking about the importance and the opportunity to have back-to-back national championships. Also today, 19 seniors will be playing their last game, and it's been a little bit little teary-eyed down here for a lot of the parents and the seniors, so it's a big day for them as well. You brought up a great point, though. The second teamers are going to get a chance to play in this ball game. They're looking for them to do a good job and play well.
Dennis Erickson and the Miami Hurricanes preparing for what they hope will be their 51st consecutive home victory at the Orange Bowl as they go against the Temple Owls. We'll have it coming up here on Sunshine Network.
It's where Major Nelson dreamed of Jeannie, Cocoa Beach, Cape Canaveral. Where, Andy said, men with the right stuff get together. Where else can you see rockets as tall as the redwoods and shuttle flights that'll really take you into the twilight zone? But seeing the Mini Whitney didn't exactly pass military muster, it was suggested we park someplace else. Jack, Andy said, why spend $200 a day for some fancy Florida resort? Not when $5 buys you beachfront on the RV lot, and you might even find a genie that isn't in your dreams. Can it get any better than this? The hot Floridian sun and sand as white as a Pepsodent smile. Winnebago! Plus, the locals don't even mind lending a hand with the parking. And best of all, you can bring your own supply of Old Milwaukee Light. Standing on the warm Cocoa Beach sands, sharing a cold Old Mill Light, watching that rocket's red glare. As I've often said, it doesn't get any better than this.
Hi, I'm Joe Torre. My professional life is baseball. My home life is my wife and daughter. Because of them, I'm helping to fight a terrible disease called lupus that threatens mostly women. Lupus strikes over 50,000 women a year. It destroys their immune system so that the body attacks itself organ by organ. Lupus can start as early as 14 years of age and throughout the childbearing years. Early diagnosis of its symptoms is important. Send for our free booklet, 11 Quiet Alarms, that describes these symptoms. Help support the Lupus Research Institute to find a cure and protect your family against lupus. Write the Lupus Research Institute, P.O. Box 838. That's P.O. Box 838, South Norwalk, Connecticut, 06854. Or call 1-800-82-LUPUS. That's 1-800-82-LUPUS. 1-800-82-LUPUS. Call now.
Welcome back to the Orange Bowl, everybody, where again it is the parents of the 19 seniors that are graduating on this University of Miami club. A proud day, but as Joy pointed out, somewhat of a sad day as well, as 19 seniors will be departing, including 16 starters and the punter. And quite earlier, the Dennis Erickson giving all the hugs and all of the things that go with, saying so long to some great, great seniors, and indeed 16 starters departing for Miami. And there's a good look at Vickers. The weather here at the Orange Bowl will be greeting no sunshine today, it appears, as it has been overcast most of the day. And Dane Pruitt is ready to kick off here for Miami. The deep man, number 80, that is going to be Lawhorn, a very dangerous return man, averaging 33 yards per return, and gets it back to the 20-yard line. There is a flag down on the field after an 18-yard return. Richardson making the stop for Miami. John Smith is our referee today. So as they discuss the penalty here, it'll be a step off, it appears, against the Temple Owls, and they will indeed be starting deep in their own territory. So it'll be first down and 10 to go for the Temple Owls, again coming in at 1-8, and their quarterback starting this afternoon, a redshirt freshman. Number 14 will be Luke Linhart, coming out of Pittsburgh, and you saw the numbers on him as he takes a man in motion. That is Fredericks. Motion to the right side, and he's back to throw to him quickly, and in the open field he catches it, but once again gets a quick stop on the far side. Coming up is Pearson and Greer to make the stop for Miami. Here are the people running behind it. Washington, a very good deep threat, while the tight end is a good man as well, and that is Peter Cook starting today. Look for him underneath the coverage. Up front again, we mentioned Trey Johnson is a good one. Brian Irwin is the other guy on that strong left side, and if they have to get some short yardage, that is where they'll take the football. It's a second down and 13 yards to go after the gain of the pass and run, and this is Linhart back to throw again. He will not get back to the line of scrimmage before Darren Smith comes up to make the stop for Miami. Smith, one of the outstanding linebackers with Barrow and Armstead. And up front, they'll be headed by Krein. Lopez, by the way, starting for Patrick Riley, who separated his shoulder in the West Virginia game, should be ready for Syracuse next week. There is Smith and Barrow along with Armstead. Smith and Barrow, the candidates for the Dick Butkus Award. And in the secondary, Ziegler, Greer, Harris, and McNeil. McNeil, of course, the most experienced of the cornerbacks, leading the defense, number 47. Third down, 10 yards to go for Temple. Their first possession of the day on the kickoff. Lenhart with a little delay. They try to get running room in the middle. No place to go. As Darren Krein, number 91, was the first to smell it out. And then Mark Caesar, another one of those outstanding seniors, to clamp in. Cabrera, number 44, one of the team captains for Temple, will gain no yardage, and it's fourth down, and kick time now for Temple. So far, Temple has won the only game between these two ball clubs. Interesting enough, it was one of the first indoor games at the Convention Center in Atlantic City, won by the Owls 34-0. The Notre Dame football team had played in Philadelphia the afternoon before and were in attendance. Again, Temple leading the series 1-0. Doing the punting, John Shea. The man back deep for Miami is dangerous Kevin Williams. He sidesteps a man there, and he's off for the sidelines, but will not get far. Good pursuit that time by the Owls. First man to reach him is Bryant Irwin. We mentioned one of the top players, along with Charles Whitfield, and a flag is down on the field. 44-yard punt by Shea. Interesting, Nat, in the fact that Temple came out. They did come out throwing the football, something they have to do against this Miami club. Face mask penalty, and let's see if we can pick it up here. Right there. Didn't take long.
Didn't take long. One of the things you have to think that Temple would try to do is throw the football, because no one has been able to run the ball effectively against that Hurricane defense.
Gino Torretta, again, as we pointed out, the last three ball games have just been dynamite with over 63% of his passes and nearly 1,000 yards, 9 touchdowns. The senior, one of 19, graduating, and he'll be running with McGuire, Spencer, Thomas, Copeland, and Bell. As the ruthless posse is intact, we'll check the front line after this first down play at midfield. McGuire, the all-time touchdown leader in scoring touchdowns in the ground with 33. Gets the carry out to the 45-yard line, and a good gain of nearly 6. Jeffcoat, the middle nose guard for Temple, makes the stop. Cristobal, Vickers, Green, London, and Etheridge, again the converted tight end up front, will do the blocking for Torretta today. You see the down 3, and Jeffcoat, a good man in the middle. McCurkin, a little injured prone, and there you see the linebackers, including Dennis and Hale. Hale, the free spirit, you'll find him just about anywhere on the field today. This is the Stephen McGuire show as he takes it enough for the first down, gets it down near the 39-yard line before Hale is the first to reach him. Getting a running game started early, very important in a ball game against anybody. As we take a look at the defensive people in the secondary for the defensive backs, and Crispina, number 2, you'll see him on one of the corners, but he likes to blitz from the outside, so we'll see how well he can do that today in blitzing from either left or right against Gino Torretta today.
That's a little different, though, when you think about it, Sam, that here you have your corner that's blitzing all the time, where instead of backing coverage, but he's a good hitter, and he likes to come up and mix it up, and they're using him effectively.
Spencer in motion. Torretta with a dump-off pass. This is Thomas. Lamar Thomas has another first down for Miami, and another flag goes flying into the stack as the Temple Owls trying to get aggressive here. That is Glasper makes the stop. Kyle out of Houston, Texas, a junior. 40 tackles so far, and the referees will discuss it here again after a catch and run by Lamar Thomas, and he's only a touchdown away from still another record here. And this one will go against Miami. So the Canes are going to be penalized now, as again we get the rerun coming up as Lamar Thomas again got it down for about 11 or 12-yard gain. Let's look at it again.
Here we see Lamar cutting back against Glasper here, and they make the tackle, and I think the penalty comes in a little late there. You see at the top of your screen. I think that was Kip Vickers, a little anxious after the play, trying to throw a block downfield.
So the step off will come against the Canes, who have had their own way here in their opening series after the Punt returned by Williams. It gained nothing after a 44-yard punt. There was a penalty and a personal foul stepped off to midfield. And that's where this drive started. So they'll replay the first down on the dead ball after the play was down as Nat picked up. So they'll back it up, and it's going to bring up a first down. They've got the down marker back at the 45. Again, Lamar Thomas has caught at least one pass in 31 consecutive games. And, of course, approaching Michael Irvin's record here with the Miami Hurricanes. First down. They'll need 15. Torretta back to throw. He's looking deep. Over the middle. Nice catch. Copeland has it. One of the seniors graduating, trying to get this crowd kind of fired up as he takes it inside the 20. They'll down it at the 17-yard line after a 22-yard gain.
As we go back, hopefully we've got a replay here, and you see Horace Copeland do a great job of going down, running about a 20-yard square end, and Torretta put it in there, and you see Horace Copeland do a good job of leaving his feet, laying out to catch the football, and that's what helps Torretta become the great quarterback. He's got good, skilled people around him that are willing to lay out and put forth a great effort to make the play.
McGuire getting the call. Will take it inside the 15 to the 14-yard line. And it is interesting enough as Dennis, the inside linebacker, makes the stop. The running game with McGuire, it's been a big luxury for Dennis Erickson all year long with 4 great running backs to choose from.
Now, they've got 4 great running backs, and Stephen McGuire over the years have been the guy, but this year, coming off knee injury, he was relegated to 3rd team, and he's now back at the 1st team, but they've got a young kid by the name of Danielle Ferguson that is really exciting.
Jones and Bennett, the other 2 running backs. Jones did nothing more than rip off a 70-yard touchdown run against West Virginia 2 weeks ago. The shotgun has been a very good offense for Miami, and McGuire, did he catch and drop it? No, they say it was totally incomplete. He was turning and looking to see where the defense was. Adrian Drones, one of the linebackers, number 43, had dropped with him in the short coverage. And I know you heard a few footsteps. I'm sure you dropped a few turning and looking, didn't you, Nat?
Well, I think anytime you let the ball get into your body where he's trying to catch it here, you see his head pop up. You have a tendency to think you've looked it in, but once it goes down low, you pop up and you look to see where that hit's coming from.
This drive starting at the 50-yard line for Miami. They're inside their own 50, the Temple 15, at about the 14-yard line. And the shotgun again for Torretta. Trips to the left side. He's looking that way, but here comes the pressure, and he's dropped. So the Temple Owls on a 3rd down play, 3rd and 7, and they get the big rush straight up the middle. Jeffcoat, a senior with 54 tackles so far, a 11-yard loss. And it'll bring up a field goal time, and Dane Pruitt will step on.
11 yards.
Here we go back and we look at the play, and this is just a coverage sack. He's got plenty of time, and here you see Jeffcoat coming in, making the sack. He's a good player, and he reminds me a lot of his brother Jim, who plays for the Cowboys.
Snyder the holder, and Pruitt with a field goal try. It is up, and it is good. 42 yards off the toe of Dane Pruitt. His longest so far this year, 44 against Virginia Tech. That just 2 yards shy, but he gets the Canes on the board early. And a moral victory here early for the Owls. 9:37 left to play here in the first quarter. It is Miami 3 and the Temple Owls nothing here at the Orange Bowl in Miami. Miami taking a 3-0 lead on the strength of the 42-yard field goal by Dane Pruitt, who will be kicking off. And again, some pressure from Temple here early on has paid some dividends for them so far in this ball game. As they get the sack on Torretta, a 11-yard sack that, of course, set up the field goal by Pruitt. He'll be kicking off, and again, Lawhorn, who's already run 2 kickoffs back this year, one from 89, the other from 94, and averages 33. He will not get this ball. It comes up short to the 20. Temple's going to have some good field position as Fredericks will get the ball there and takes it out to the 31-yard line. So a short kick by Pruitt. Rohan Marley makes the stop, number 2 for Miami, and Fredericks, you see, almost came right out of his jersey after the tackle. It'll be Temple's ball at the 31. Leonard, just a freshman, and again the Canes going 24 yards in 8 plays. 3:08. They needed there with the field goal coming from Pruitt. Leonard, who's already thrown 9 interceptions, lines up for the lone running back. And they're using again number 44, Cabrera. Normally Sam Jenkins lines up at that tailback spot, but he is not playing at the moment. Mark Caesar, the big senior down lineman at tackle, already made 35 so far this year, makes a stop for Miami.
And Mark Caesar did a real good job there of just flowing down the line of scrimmage, getting penetration, and coming up with the tackle there. If we go back and take a look here, you'll see him in the middle of your screen as he's just fighting through all of that rubble there and coming up with the tackle.
Boy, he dictates a lot of people trying to stop him, too. They had a double team, and he fought through both of that. Gain of only a yard in the play, 2nd down and 9. Here's a handoff again to Cabrera. The senior co-captain takes it out to the 35-yard line. And making the stop again is Kevin Patrick, the top sack man in the Big East Conference. He's got a total of 7, but he's got some company there. As a matter of fact, a freshman by the name of Lance Johnstone for Temple has 7 as well.
Here you see Efren coming right through the center. They run a little trap there, bringing number 70 across, trying to run a quick trap there to pick up a few yards there.
3rd down, 6 yards for Temple. Down 3-0 to Miami. 8:27 first quarter. Linhart back to throw for the first time in this series. He's throwing in and out of the hands. That was Armstead trying to make the intercept. Throwing out here intended for the big weapon for them, number 84, Wilbur Washington, who's their number 1 receiver, having caught 21 for 281 already this year. Well, the streak that has included 50 straight games for Miami. And let me give you some mind-boggling numbers here. The streak has lasted for 62,126 hours. How about seconds? Over 22 million seconds of a 50-game winning streak for Miami. 4th and punt time. And again, John Shea came into this ball game averaging just a shade over 32 yards per punt. Got a 44-yarder off the last time. And booms another one towards Kevin Williams this time. Williams has just not had the luck he had last year when he ran 3 punts back for touchdowns. This one he gets only a 1-yard return after a 36-yard punt. But nonetheless, the Canes will have it. They'll take it 1st down and 10 yards to go on their own 30. They got a 3-0 lead on Temple with 8:10 to go here in the first quarter of the Orange Bowl in Miami on Homecoming Day 1993.
Hi, I'm Jack LaLanne, and I've developed a better way to get in shape. It's my new Jack LaLanne stepper, and it's guaranteed to strengthen firm and tone your body into shape faster than ever. It's sensational. Look, my stepper has been designed to target the muscles in your hips and buttocks, thighs and calves, so every step is more effective. Burn body fat faster, lose calories, and develop firm, shapely muscles with one incredible exercise machine. Best of all, my stepper is so simple to use. Simply adjust the dial to your fitness level. Increase the stair height for an intense workout. Get the maximum workout in minimum time. Now through Telebrand, you can own the Jack LaLanne stepper for only 3 easy payments of $29.95. And if you order now, I'll also include this special instructional video that's a $20 value, absolutely free. You know, there is a better way. The Jack LaLanne stepper.
Call 1-800-652-2112. 3 payments of $29.95 or send $89.85 plus $9.95 shipping. Sorry, no CODs accepted.
Create a super conference, pay the players, make them semi-professional.
You can never have legitimate prize fights as long as 90% of the fighters work for the same guy.
Whoa, it's a family show.
Wednesday night on Sunshine Network.
Well, everything is happy going so far in the first period, despite only a 3-0 lead by the Hurricanes, ranked number 1 in both the Associated Press, the CNN, and USA Today poll, knocking Washington out of the number 1 spot. The Arizona Wildcats, 16-3 last week, and now Gino Torretta very much back in the Heisman Trophy chase. There's a 1st and 10 at the 30-yard line. The fake to McGuire, plenty of time to throw. Near sideline, this is Spencer. Darrell gave up a little ground and lost a yard after making the reception at the 35. They'll down it at the 34-yard line. Secondary coverage up there, that time by Boyanin. John, a senior out of Phoenix, Arizona, and one of the many junior college players that has gone to Temple.
Here, John Boyana does a good job of staying there with Darrell Spencer and not taking all the fakes and feints, and he just watches him, gets his hands on him, and hold on for help.
2nd down after a gain in the play of right at 5 yards. It's 2nd and 5. Torretta this time will give to McGuire. Sealed off blocking to the outside. He'll take it near the 40. That may be enough for the 1st down. Scott Dennis, one of the middle linebackers, the number 1 tackler with 84 tackles, number 45. He, along with Hale, really doing a good job in the middle.
Good job of that offensive line there. Carlos Etheridge and Diego London coming off, giving him a little room to get started upfield. And then once McGuire gets started, he's going to gain 4 or 5 yards.
2 interesting blockers out there as well. Number 35, Spencer, and number 5, Kevin Williams, were doing a good job in trying to at least detain their people.
The small guys.
The small guys. Wide receivers come split to the right side. Horace Copeland for 1. Gino Torretta, who again has the green light to check off at the line of scrimmage, and does on this 3rd down and short yardage. A flag is down, and that may have come just before the play was initiated.
I think they were a little late in getting the snap there.
Dead ball. Delay of game. Charge to the offense. Replay 3rd down.
John Smith, our referee. Dennis Erickson not real happy about that. Let's go downstairs to Joe Rose. He's been kind of the missing man here early on. Joe?
Thank you guys very much. First of all, Jerry Byrne has had a lot of controversy surrounding him the last few days. There's been a lot of articles that he will not be back next year. The team before the game was very upset about it and has dedicated this game to their coaching staff for the Temple Owls.
Jerry in his 4th year with the Owls, and again has won only 11, lost 31 at the helm of the Owls. Torretta back, a little dump-in pass. He's got the speedster Williams. Williams trying to do things, and he's got an open. And that is the Kevin Williams that we know with those very quick feet. And has the first down out at midfield after a 15-yard gain.
Mr. Excitement. You know, you just love to see him get the ball in his hands and run with it. He just does a tremendous job of making people miss him. You see him coming on the little screen, the little crossing route. It's going to his right. And he looks up and everything's there. He reverses his field, goes back left. And look how many people have a shot at him and can't come down with him. This guy just has unbelievable running ability.
He, by the way, just a junior out of Dallas, Texas, will be one of the starters that will be coming back. When you talk about losing 16 starters, they are indeed going to lean on people like Williams. But I told Nat that before the game, and he said, they'll have people to replace those because that's how deep they are here at Miami. 1st and 10, midfield for the Canes. Torretta, time to throw. A little slant in, it goes to Spencer. Darrell Spencer, who started the year coming off a knee injury, is finally brought down by Scott Dennis, but another 19-yard gain for the Canes.
Here we see a good shot of Torretta's gun. He does a good job of fitting this pass in right there between the 2 linebackers, zipped it in. Darrell Spencer, good concentration and running with the football after the catch.
You know, we've talked how well Dennis along with Hale coverage, but when you get isolation one-on-one on those backs, they cannot cover those guys.
It's impossible. It's hard for the corner to keep up with them, less more linebacker.
Running game just to kind of keep things honest, and this is McGuire fighting for yardage down inside the 20. Another first down for Miami, and their offense is in high gear now. It stalled a moment ago, and they had to settle for only a 3-point field goal.
Once again, you see Carlos Etheridge and Diego London getting a stalemate there at the line of scrimmage with Stephen McGuire just lowering his shoulder, running over people, picking up the first down.
You'll find number 37, that's Darrell Nelson. He is a senior out of Philadelphia as the rover back, so you'll see him up on the line of scrimmage. You'll see him back deep in deep coverage, so number 37 will be doing a lot of roaming today for Temple. 1st and 10. They do spot it at the 20-yard line in Temple territory for the Canes. Holding the linebackers of that fake, and here comes Torretta on the run. Sliding into 3rd base with another first down as he slides at the 7, and Torretta getting up a little bit slowly, but he's all right. But that's another first down, and again, Lance Johnstone makes the stop for Temple. Kind of scary when you see that quarterback in the open field like that.
Yeah, but you know, Gino is the type of quarterback that's also like a linebacker. And here you see him make that quick decision. He wanted to go to Coleman Bell there, checking out, and they had it covered. He came out of there in a hurry and got the first down, got the ball down to the 6-yard line.
Johnstone, number 54, is the man I mentioned, is tied with our own Kevin Patrick for the sack lead with 7 so far in the Big East Conference. And it's 1st and goal at the 7-yard line. McGuire will try to do the mop-up to the 5, fights to the 3, and flags are flying everywhere. Well, Stephen McGuire, again, coming off the knee surgery and was listed as the 3rd or 4th and was not even suited for the Iowa game. Crispina, by the way, along with Angelo, make the stop. But he has slowly but surely worked himself back in his senior year out of Brooklyn, New York, as the number 1 man. And he's not going to get any help there, as a holding call will be indicated on Miami.
Well, he's 100% now. Earlier in the year, he was dragging the leg, and now you can see him running with full force.
By the offense. 10-yard penalty. Replay first down.
So a step off of 10 yards. And it'll bring up first and goal to go. And they'll back the ball back to the 14-yard line. Dennis Erickson, what a marvelous career in his 4 years. 41-3, 93% winning percentage for the Canes. Overall, 91, 34-1 in his long and illustrious career as a head coach already. The handoff. Donnell Bennett's in the ball game. Goes to the goal line as he scores. Touchdown, Miami.
Good play selection by the Hurricanes. They bring the receivers back in and go with a draw.
Donnell Bennett, who has been kind of the bell cow early on this year for the Canes at running back. A healthy young man who carries the ball well out of Fort Lauderdale, and he gets an opening, and look at the blocking ahead of him.
You've got a big hole there, and everybody's running at it, and they don't see him until the last minute, and he just runs over the last two defenders to get it into the end zone. Good running by Donnell Bennett.
Bennett again, just a sophomore at 6'2", 227, one of the top athletes to come out of Cardinal Gibbons High School up in Fort Lauderdale. And Dane Pruitt will try to add a 10 onto the scoreboard as the Canes lead at 9-0. 4:12 to go first period. Temple is yet to be out of their own territory. Snyder with a hole, Patterson with a snap, and the kick is up by Pruitt, and it is good. So the Canes come on a 70-yard march, culminated by the 14-yard run by Bennett, and they're on top of the Temple Owls here in our Big East game with a score of 10-0 at the Orange Bowl. We'll return on Sunshine Network in a moment. For the Miami Hurricanes, they put it in the end zone, and again, it's just some sheer power up front. Offensive line doing a job.
Just sheer power. You see the block back. You see Diego London taking on the linebacker there, and there's no one around him until he reaches the goal line. He runs over the last two defenders. Good job by that Hurricane offense.
The Canes have come up on a 70-yard drive in 7 plays. Again, Bennett with a 14-yard run for a 10-0 lead. Dane Pruitt prepares to kick off again to Lawhorn, who is the deep man, number 80 for the Temple Owls. A good look at Dane Pruitt. What a big pair of shoes he had to step in with Carlos Huerta, the All-American. There's a good look at Lawhorn. Again, averaging 33.3 yards per return. He's had 14 of kickoffs so far this year. They did not kick to him the last time you recall. Came up very, very short. Miami, by the way, has been warned by the officiating corps. You can see the line, the broad white stripe that's on the sideline, and the players must stay behind that line, and they got a warning for encroaching a little bit onto the field and got a warning from the officials.
Boy, it's homecoming. They're excited, etc. You know, they're 10 points up, and those guys are looking to get in the ball game soon.
They will kick to Lawhorn. He has it at the 5. Good move as he takes it out to the 22-yard line. And Lawhorn will put the Temple Owls in business after a 17-yard return, and they'll have it at their own 22. And again, they have yet to get out of their own territory against this defense of Miami. Malcolm Pearson was the man that came in and made the stop for the Canes. And again, Linhart, the redshirt freshman from Pittsburgh, his 92 stats include 465 yards passing with a couple of touchdowns, but as I alluded to, 9 interceptions so far. We also have not seen Sam Jenkins, number 18, as of yet. Cabrera has been the lone running back, and he's in there again. And they give it to him to the outside. And a good effort by Efren Cabrera as he gets it out past the 30 to the 31-yard line. And Michael Barrows, the one that finally had a timeout. Good effort by Cabrera.
Good effort by Cabrera, but if you notice, you see where they ran. Right over Trey Johnson, that All-American candidate, as they come right at you. As you can see him just keeping his legs moving, staying afloat as I'm getting so excited here. I'm losing my words, but a great job of running by the fullback there.
Trey Johnson, 6'3", 300 pounds, number 67. He's out of Peekskill, New York, and a good one at offensive tackle for Pittsburgh. Oh, my. In the backfield almost as quickly as the ball got there. That was Caesar, and the ball's loose, and Miami has a fumble recovery. Jesse Armstead is on the bottom of the stack. Also, Darren Klein, along with Caesar, was there to knock the ball away, and Armstead comes up with the football. So the first big turnover of this football game goes to Miami. Let's watch it. They were in the backfield in a hurry.
Right. Here you see Caesar hopping around the block, the guard, and there you see Jesse Armstead going in, fighting coming up with the football. You know, when you get down there, it's a matter of strength of who wants the football the most as to who come out of there with it.
Line of scrimmage will be the 28-yard line in Temple territory with a 10-0 lead already for Miami. And Gino Torretta with the lone running back is McGuire. Two split receivers to the top of the screen. They'll give it to McGuire. There's that same hole that Bennett scored on a moment ago, and McGuire uses it to take it down to the 20. A gain of 8. It'll be 2nd down and 2.
Sam, early in the program, we talked about the two great linebackers, Roman Hale and Scott Dennis, as the two key players for the defense, and look like Miami wants to test them because they're running right at them.
We sometimes see when we've seen those good inside linebackers, and we've had our host of the games that we've had on Sunshine, some good ones in the middle, and two good ones here, but Torretta has gone over the top, hitting 5 of his 6 passes. McGuire tries to cut outside, and he will gain maybe only a yard, and that's going to be it. Thrown back hard. Slagle will get the stop. Another young man from Mesa, Arizona Community College. I've mentioned they have done a good job of recruiting people from junior college to try to bolster up at Temple, but it may not be enough to save the coach's job.
Here you see McGuire going off to tackle to the right, and he tries to cut back, and McClurkin is right there, head up, and drives him back.
McClurkin injured early on, 6'3", 275, a junior from Philly. But he's back in the lineup. Scott Holland is the man that had replaced him, but he now is injured, so McClurkin was forced into duty today. Well, McGuire tries to get to the outside. There's going to be nothing doing as they'll bring up a 4th down, and they'll still need 2 yards. Boy, Temple's defense just spread that out all over the field. Gary Downing, number 52 from Philadelphia, one of the top tacklers, just strung that one out and made the stop.
Yeah, he does a good job of scraping off tackles, and he's right there, and he steps up and beats the block of Carlos Etheridge, gets underneath him, and makes the tackle.
Well, you've got the toe of Dane Pruitt. Let's see if it'll work again. The spot of the football will be at the 27. It'll be a 37-yard try. The snap is good. Snyder's hold is good, and the kick is good as well. A minute 20 left to play in this opening period, and the Canes have jumped to a 13-0 lead here. And again, a couple of field goals by Dane Pruitt, who I think is starting to get more and more confidence just about every time he toes it up, particularly with Patterson, the snapper, and Snyder, the man that puts the ball down. Let's go downstairs to Joe Rose. Joe?
Well, the University of Miami starters on both offense and defense all week long have been giving these backups a hard time. They've given up some 40 points in 2 ball games in the 3rd and 4th quarters, the backups I'm talking about. They told them if they want to get in there and play with a lot of pride today. You can see by the score, it looks like it might be happening very soon.
This is a Big East Conference game, of course, with Temple and the Miami Hurricanes. And, of course, next week will probably be the game to decide the championship in the Big East, as it'll be Syracuse and Miami tangling once again at the Dome. And let's take a look at the numbers right now. Of course, the Canes unbeaten overall and 2-0 in the conference. Syracuse at 5-0. Boston College 2-0-1. Of course, their tie there, and West Virginia also with a tie. And quite obviously, it'll be one of those situations where a big ball game coming up next week that will be carried on national television, by the way. The Miami Dolphins, they're featured on Monday Night Magazine live at 7 p.m. It comes up tomorrow. How about Joe Rose along with Nat Moore? My teammates are going to be there. And Jimmy Cefalo will be the guest host as well. Check your local listings, but don't miss Monday Night Dolphin Football Magazine here live on Sunshine Network. Well, you guys got a double team Mr. Cefalo, huh?
Well, we've been waiting for this opportunity for a lifetime to take advantage of Jimmy.
Pruitt gets ready to kick off for a 3rd time this afternoon after a very short drive set up by a fumble recovery by Armstead. But again, the Canes unable to punch it in for a 6-pointer. They got one from Bennett early on from 14 yards away. And with a minute 20 to go in the period, another high long kick goes to Lawhorn, and he'll catch it 1 yard deep in the end zone, and he's coming out of there. Flag down back upfield well before Lawhorn reached the 15-yard line. He got a 15-yard return a yard deep in the end zone, and they stopped play to explain the option here. Must be frustrating for a talent like Lawhorn, who does have some good numbers but just can't get anything done, and he knows why against the Miami Hurricanes.
Well, it's got to be extremely difficult for him, but you know, Miami's given up some big plays on special teams this year, but so far they're covering well. They're keeping him inside the 20, and so he's got to be frustrated, even more so being a great receiver that have not been able to get the ball.
In the back, above the waist by the return team. Penalty is half the distance to the goal. First down.
So Temple gets another hit after the block in the back. It'll block the ball back inside the 10. They'll spot it at the 8-yard line. By the way, credit where credit is due. Dave Arnold, as you see, Jerry Byrd on the far sideline for the Temple Owls. Dave Arnold, the tight end coach and special team coach for Miami, has had his team playing very well just about all season long on kickoff returns, punt returns, and also punt and kickoff coverage as well. Leonard throwing to the far right side, intended for the wide receiver tight end Peter Cook, but well over his head, and that was forced by a very good pursuit inside again by Miami. Again, another short drive, and the fact they had to settle for the field goal. 4 plays, 7 yards, took a little less than 2 minutes, and again Pruitt adds his second field goal of the day. What does Temple try to do here? Now, obviously, what they're doing right now is their best that they're trying to go against the Canes, but they've got to do something to get out of the hole.
Well, they started out the last series running the football and fumbled it, and of course now they're back to throwing the football. But they've got to do something to keep their defense off the field. Here we see Jenkins in the ball game, and he's been missing the earlier part of the ball game, and I don't know about you, but I've been wondering why, being that he is their most productive player.
Greer will finally bring Sam Jenkins. He's from Mount Holly, New Jersey, number 18, and comes into the ball game with just a shade under 500 yards rushing, averaging about 4 yards per carry. Also one of the top all-purpose yard gainers here for Temple.
Here you see him just doing a good job of running with the football. He has quick feet, and then he gives you that double threat because he's the second leading receiver on their football team.
He was a wide receiver last year before being moved to tailback. However, in their offense, they use their tailback very much as a receiver. He's in the block as Lenhart throwing. Over the middle, intended for a good receiver in Lawhorn. Ball got there in a hurry, and Lawhorn was not ready as Armstead was there as well. So it's 4th down and punt time again for the Temple Owls as the number 1 defense. Again, they may have been on the number 2 defense, but they don't have anything to argue about today.
Here you see the linebackers getting a good drop, and it's tough to complete these balls underneath to the receivers when you've got those great linebackers that are coming up making the hit.
You also saw number 4 in the picture, Paul White. He has been one of the top people here, number 1 in intercepts with 3 so far. Young man, a junior out of Tampa and Hillsborough High School. Well, Shea will have to kick out of his own end zone, and well, that's got to be a lonely spot right now with the Canes wanting to come right at him, and Williams will field this ball probably around the Temple 40-yard line unless Shea really gets a boomer out of there. Williams standing back at the 45. Shea using all of that time as he does send it somewhat end over end. It'll bound, and will Williams try it? He does not. He backs away from it, and the ball will be down at the 44-yard line. 35-yard punt off the toe of John Shea will set up the Miami Hurricanes in business as they have come with a couple of field goals and a touchdown to take this 13-0 lead. And Gino Torretta very much back in the Heisman Trophy chase. And I guess the last 3 ball games, particularly with Marshall Faulk having, yes, he's getting over 100 yards, but he's not explosive as well as he was early in the year.
Well, Marshall Faulk has slowed down somewhat, but Gino is coming on at the right time. It's at the end of the year where his team is in the hunt for a national championship, and he's the leader, and he's really produced the last 3 ball games.
Torretta so far has thrown for 2,186 yards, if you will, and he's throwing for a bundle here. It's Lamar Thomas at the 5.
I'll tell you, that was just great concentration by Lamar Thomas at that point. There was a defender coming right at him, and he never took his eyes off the ball, concentrated on catching the ball, knowing he was going to get hit, making a big play for the Hurricanes. Here you see Torretta play action, goes back, and he has Lamar Thomas wide open, so he just hangs it up high. As you can see, good job of just concentrating. You don't see him looking to see who's going to hit him. He catches the football first and goes down. Big play by the Hurricanes. Great execution by Gino Torretta and Lamar Thomas.
Well, Thomas making the catch and Angelo making the stop for Temple that saved the 6 points as Thomas gets it. After a long pass and run, it's the end of the period, and the Miami Hurricanes have enjoyed a good, successful 15 minutes. They're on top of the Owls with a score of 13-0 here on homecoming day at the Orange Bowl in Miami. We'll be back with more sunshine coverage of the Canes in a moment. Miami Hurricanes, number 1 in the country on both the Associated Press, CNN, and USA Today poll. Lamar Thomas setting up a potential another score with a 39-yard reception and a 13-0 lead already. And Lamar Thomas, one of those guys that is only one touchdown shy of tying a seasonal record for 9 touchdown passes in a season for Miami. Torretta first and goal. They'll have it just outside the 5-yard line. Marucci's in the ball game to block, and they're throwing, and it's going to be complete. Is it good? It is. Touchdown. Thrown right over the middle, and they throw it for an easy score. And Miami comes up with a touchdown for the Canes. So Gino Torretta with his 45th touchdown throw, and Tucker is the man that's on the end of the receiving line.
Just another play-action pass. You know, that when you can run the football, that creates plenty of separation for the tight end when they block down and then sneak out. And here you see Tucker coming wide open and doing a good job of catching the football.
That, by the way, is his first touchdown pass. And the point after by Pruitt, and it didn't waste the Canes much time that time after the 39-yard pass to set it up. And it's 7 more points on the board, and a 20-0 floodgate is starting to open here, and Gino Torretta starting to feel his oats again early here against the Temple Owls. You see the time remaining before halftime. It is Miami 20 and the Temple Owls nothing. Back with more after this.
Attention gardeners, now you can cut through tough, thick branches in seconds with Super Shears, the new ratcheting lever action pruning shears that give even soft, delicate hands tremendous cutting power. Watch and hear once again the powerful ratcheting lever action. Super Shears give you the strength you need to make fast, clean cuts without sore, tired, or blistered hands. Nothing stops Super Shears. Cut through things you never dreamed possible with ordinary clippers. Cut all day long without hand pain or strain. The new ratcheting lever action produces the power. The razor-sharp Teflon-coated blade provides the finest cutting edge. Together, they give you smooth, clean cuts that help plants heal fast. Call or send to Super Shears now and receive a quick guide to pruning trees, evergreens, bushes, and flowering plants. Look, the man on the left is using regular clippers to cut through this hardwood dowel. The boy on the right is using Super Shears. Look at him go. Proof positive that the power is in the Super Shears. Sir, try cutting that branch with regular clippers. Go ahead. Hurry up. What's the matter? Now try Super Shears. What do you think?
Incredible.
Prune all day, save your hands. Super Shears are not sold in stores. Call or send only $12.98 to Super Shears at this address now. You'll also get the illustrated guide, Pruning is Easy. Order more than one set of Super Shears and take $2 off every additional set you order. Order now.
The Canes have used every form of scoring, a couple of field goals, a running touchdown, and now a touchdown pass from Torretta going into Saeed Tucker. And his first career touchdown reception as a Hurricane. And he does it the old-fashioned way. He just dives and makes a great catch. The second-year freshman out of Oklahoma City Douglas High. So the Canes again with a commanding 20-0 lead here with 14:54 left to play. And it'll be Pruitt kicking off once again to Lawhorn for the Temple Owls. Ball game going just about as we probably expected it here, as you see the wind briskly blowing over the stadium rim. And, of course, at our open, you could see trying to blow us off the top deck here at the Orange Bowl. Pruitt out of Birmingham approaches. And Lawhorn will catch this one at the 9. Had a pretty good wall. Used it for a moment to get out to the 24-yard line. 13-yard return. Let's take a look at that pass reception. And the pass, number 45 on a career for Torretta.
Here you see Torretta coming out to his right. You see the tight end able to slip out in the flat behind the defender and come up with a touchdown.
So again, a couple of running backs in there to block once again. And you see the short time it's needed for the Canes to score on that one as they come up in only 18 seconds and get the easy score to go up on the score of 20-0. Palasak will be the new quarterback now, as Miami already with 10 first downs and Temple yet to having one. Palasak already looking a little confused. He runs out of there and throws that one away, intended for Washington. And when he turned and Jenkins was right in his face in the backfield, he's kind of pointing, hey, you're supposed to go the other way. What are you doing over here?
Well,
good look at the sophomore here, Palasak. He's another young man that's had trouble with interceptions. He's had 10 with only a couple of touchdown passes so far this year.
Well, they're just really having a tough time offensively trying to get anything established against this Hurricane front four, which is allowing Miami to drop 7 people, which is going to make it a very tough day if you've got to throw the football. You've got to be able to run it against this front four and make the linebackers stay home.
Palasak had a school record 5 interceptions against him by the Zips of Akron. Here is Armstead with a big hit after the reception is made. Ziegler scooped up the ball, but it was after the reception, after Mark Caesar had knocked him down. Again, Jenkins. Look at this hit by Armstead. Ooh, those linebackers can stick you, can't they?
Yeah, they know how to fill the hole, and they're ranked as the best set of linebackers in the country, and that is a perfect reason why.
By the way, we made mention that, of course, Michael Barrow and Darren Smith are the semifinalists for the Dick Butkus, the Outstanding Linebacker Award. Very shortly, they'll be cutting that list down to a short 3 and then naming the recipient. Personal foul called on the Canes, and Palasak will have a little bit more running room. And Jerry Burnt. So that'll bring up a 3rd down and 4 yards needed here for Temple. Again, 3rd down and the 4 yards needed here. Total yards, you can see Miami well ahead in that number early on. As Temple, it's been 3 and out just about every play until this series. Pass complete to the near side, and Peter Cook, again the tight end, slipping out and takes it past the 35 to the 36-yard line before Darren Smith, the dropping linebacker, can make the stop on him. Timeout momentarily stopped here again by the referee as there's a flag down across the field. While we have a moment, Darren Smith, number 45 for the Canes, has just been named as a 1992 National Scholar Athlete, a 3.2 grade point average, completing his degree in 3.5 years in business management. And now, of course, pursuing a master's degree in business administration. He'll be honored along with the other top athletes later on in December. Good look at Gino Torretta as he just kind of enjoys a kind of a balmy afternoon here. Overcast at the Orange Bowl, but he's already had a solid day, and it'll be interesting to see how long Dennis Erickson does indeed with his 20-0 score. We're not advocating to take the first teamers out yet, but it'll be interesting to see how long he stays with a majority of the starters today. A step off against the Temple Owls will take it back to a 3rd down, and they need 18. Palasak under pressure throws to Fredericks. He has it out to near the original line of scrimmage, which was the 24. Knocked off his feet. Michael Barrow was one that met him. And also coming up was Jesse Armstead. Kind of under fire when those 2 defensive lines start crashing in around you.
All right, you see Darren Crine and Mark Caesar doing a good job of breaking that pocket down, and quarterback was able to step up and get the ball to Fredericks, but not for the first down, and that penalty really hurt them because they had the first down.
That, by the way, was only the 7th reception of the entire year for Fredericks, as John Shea will have to punt on his 4th down and 10. And again, Williams should get some good field position to work, and a good high punt will give him some air under it. He does not call for the fair catch, and he has the ball knocked out of his hands. There's a scramble for it on the far side. Terrace Harris, I believe, number 6, was over there to pounce on it for Miami after, again, the fumble was made. And the Temple Owls are quite elated that they came up with a stick after that 35-point punt. And again, Kevin Williams just trying to look for that one elusive punt return, and just has not been able to find it. Very much different from this year and last year as we look at it again.
Right. Here you see a very frustrated young man because he knows of his ability, and as you see, every time he's catching the ball, there's someone there hitting him as he catches the ball, not giving him a chance to get turned upfield, get started. And here you see him turn it loose, and the Owls come up with the fumble. Whenever you have a great punt returner or a kickoff returner, a lot of it depends on their teammates and whether they're able to hold up that rush coming down to give you a chance to get started upfield. If Kevin can get started upfield, then we'll see the old Kevin. But so far this year, he has not had that opportunity.
Well, let's check that. We had thought that Terrace Harris had come up with it, but instead number 46 indeed had recovered the ball, and that, of course, is Roman Hale, their free spirit from Westchester, Pennsylvania. their number 2 tackler, and it gives Temple their first penetration into Miami territory all afternoon long, and it'll be at the 38-yard line. Palasak, who has come off the bench, being replaced by Linhart as the starting quarterback today anyway. Fredericks in motion to the left. They pass it right over the middle, and that's Cook. Gain of about 7 on the play as Temple net just starts to kind of peck away at Miami now.
Well, they're pecking away, and one of the things that the Temple offense like to do is throw to the tight ends. There's very few teams in college football that go to the tight end as much as Temple and Miami does.
By the way, against Akron last week, we made mention of the 5 interceptions by Palasak. They had 8 turnovers total, 6 interceptions and 2 fumbles, giving up 26 points to the Zips. In the loss by the Temple Owls last week, again only 1-8 as they come to this game today. Washington in motion. They give it to Cabrera. Cabrera may have it up for the first down as he powers his way inside the 30 down to the 28-yard line. Mark Caesar on the stop. Let's go down to Joe Rose.
Thank you, guys. Jerry Byrne had said to me before the ball game it was very important. He was going to work off a 3-step and a 5-step and throw the ball. They're going to try to get the ball to their tight ends and to the running backs, but keep it quick without any sacks today. He felt that was the key for the Temple Owls.
Well, the Owls again trying to look for that little quickness here. They tried that early on, but Miami just wouldn't let them have anything early.
Well, when they were trying it early, they were throwing the ball out wide. And you know, when you got guys like Darren Crine, Kevin Patrick, it's kind of hard to throw it over the outstretched arms of these guys. So now he's throwing it in the middle and just trying to find that little open seam in the defense.
Palasak checking off at the line of scrimmage. Didn't like what he saw in the defense for Miami, even though they're still in their 4-3. Cabrera to the outside, outrunning Darren Smith. Nice move as he's banged out of bounds at about the 20-yard line. And a good run as he took off to the races on that one and turned that corner on some good blocking before Casey Greer could finally make the stop.
Yeah, Cabrera showed a lot of speed there where he was able to turn the corner and run away from Darren Smith, who is the fastest receiver for the Hurricanes. Here you see Barrow being blocked, but if we get it over to where the play is,
boy, they're taking care of Michael.
I'll tell you what, you're talking about having 2 guys on the barrel there.
Cabrera again, a little bit of a surprise starter in the backfield. Sam Jenkins, their top running back, was scheduled to start at tailback. Cabrera, a senior co-captain, is starting instead. Palasak has to throw that one very quickly. There's a flag down at the line of scrimmage right at the 20-yard line. He overthrew Fredericks just trying to throw the ball away. Stops the clock with 11:29 still left to go here in the second period. A 20-0 score. Miami in the lead. Offsides against the Canes. That'll certainly help Temple. And Dennis Erickson, even though he looks at the scoreboard and likes what he sees, doesn't like this kind of thing to happen.
No, anytime your team come back, you're coming off our off week, and you're playing a little sloppy right now. And, you know, you can't afford to let that creep into your program because, you know, they've got Syracuse next week. And, you know, if they make these mistakes against Syracuse, they'll be in for a long day at the Carrier Dome.
By the way, Temple will close out their year as they'll play Rutgers next week in their final game of the season for the Temple Owls. Again, Miami will play at Syracuse and finish the year on the 28th at San Diego State. A couple of tough ones on the road. It's a first down. Hand off Cabrera. Michael Barrow was right there, and it's no place to go for Cabrera. Well, the linebackers ever so active. And, of course, Michael Barrow, the #1 tackler on this ball club, had 88 coming to the game and comes off of 19 as a career against Penn State early this year. He was just all over the field against the Nittany Lions.
Well, that was just a great call by the defensive coordinator where they go in the undershift defense and bring Michael Barrow on a blitz right up the middle, and he's there making the tackle.
Still a second down. It is a second and still the 10 yards needed here. The ball at the 25 in Miami territory. Penalties have helped as Temple has their best penetration. That's Paul White, #4. A junior from Tampa, Florida, out defending. Trying to knock the ball away from Frederick and did a job on it. Paul White again with 3 interceptions to lead this ball club. On the opposite side of him is Ryan McNeil, and still we're hearing raves from the pros about Ryan McNeil is going to be a good one.
Well, Ryan McNeil is without a doubt is their best corner, and that's one reason Paul White's able to have pick off so many interceptions, because they're staying away from Ryan McNeil. And as you see there, Paul White does a good job of breaking on the football and either coming up with the interception or the pick or knocking it down.
Now Temple's yet to convert on a third down play today, and this is a 3rd and 10 at the 15. But look at Palasak as he calls the signals, and Cabrera will try to gain the yardage he needs. Still running at the 10, fighting for the chain, but will not get there. And he'll be a couple of yards shy of a first down here for Temple. Excuse me. Well, Cabrera's been most impressive today, the way he's run that football.
Yeah, he's a good, tough runner, and he make you think a lot of the Miami backs because of their ability to keep their legs driving. Here you see Cesar fighting off all the block and doing a good job of coming off and helping make the tackle downfield.
So Temple's going to go for it on a 4th and 2. Will it go to Cabrera? Well, they need actually a little over a yard and a half. Palasak turns. He's going to throw for the 4th down. He gets pressure. He throws under pressure. It's going to be incomplete, and that one was all set up by Darren Crine. Crine, one of the top sack people in the entire league, and of course he comes up with a good one there, and the ball goes over to Miami on a missed 4th down play.
Good job by Darren Crine of avoiding the block of Cabrera and then just hanging with him, getting his arms on Palasak and not allowing him to set up and throw the football.
Cook was the intended receiver down at the 2-yard line. So offensive time for Miami, leading 20-0 with just under 10 minutes to play. And Cook, along with Jerry Byrne, having a conversation on the near sideline. Did he run the right pattern or not? They have been a little bit deep for the tight end to run for Palasak to have time to throw to him.
Well, he was open. He was open in the end zone, but Palasak just wasn't able to get anything on the football and didn't have time to throw because of Darren Crine's ability to get in the backfield.
Dino Torretta fakes the handoff to Bennett. He's throwing over the middle. It's going to be complete to Thomas as he makes the diving catch at the 34-yard line. How about this man, Lamar Thomas? What kind of pro is he going to make, Nat Moore?
I think he's going to be a great prospect because he has the ability to bounce back. He'll have some bad games. He can have some things happen to him, but he never gives up on his own ability and have that self-doubt. Here you see him just doing a great job of getting his body down with the football so he can come up with the catch.
You saw coming up again Nelson, the rover, trying to stop Lamar Thomas, the senior out of Gainesville. And also Angelo, the free safety, was over, but not in time, as Bennett, already with a touchdown to his credit today, rambles his way out of the 40 to the 42-yard line. Bennett came into this ball game with 342 yards rushing, averaging nearly 5 per carry. His longest being only 17 yards so far this year, though. Gary Downing tied as their number 2 tackler with 70, makes the stop for Temple.
Here we see, if we look back at the monitor, once again, Donnell Bennett coming through, running through that first tackler, and then you see Downing coming down with the tackle.
2nd down and about 2 yards needed here for Miami. Torretta back. Little dump in right over the middle. He's got the tight end, Coleman Bell, and Bell's going to do the rest of it on his own before finally being ran out of bounds by Scott Dennis, the inside linebacker. And one of the things that Torretta has enjoyed is some time to throw the football. And, of course, with those great receivers, many of them taking them deep just underneath, it's Coleman Bell, who's had a great year.
Well, Coleman Bell, without a doubt, as you see him here faking the block, now he just checks down. He's an outlet receiver. Torretta does a good job looking downfield, then coming off to his outlet receiver, and Bell runs well after the catch. Now, coming into this ball game, he was the leading receiver on the Hurricane football team. Last week against West Virginia, he had 8 receptions, so he's a good one.
Well, he's made 35 coming to the game for over 507 yards, averaging nearly 15 per carry. Now, there's some discussion going on the Temple sideline for some reason. By the way, back to the offensive line and giving Torretta time to throw. Boy, this has been a marvelous story. Greg Smith, again, the assistant head coach and offensive line man, he's done a great job in rebuilding that offensive line. As, again, we look at an injury across the way here on the sideline. I believe that's one of the officials. It is.
I think one of the officials got rolled up on that last play when they were going over to the sideline. But getting back to that offensive line of the Hurricanes and what a fantastic job Coach Greg Smith has done. You're talking about losing Rudy Barber, who was the first guy to come in this year that had any experience. And as we look at their 50-game winning streak here at home and 26-game longest streak consecutive wins in the country. But that offensive line has had a transformation that's unbelievable. Getting Diego London, Carlos Etheridge, who's a tight end, now is a converted tackle. Earlier in the year, they not only could not run the football, they could not pass protect for Gino, And now you see in the last 3 ball games going into the 4th ball game that they've been able to run the football with success. They've been able to throw the ball with success. And today is just a perfect example of what a good coaching job Mr. Smith has done.
1st and 10 for Miami as Torretta gives the handoff to Bennett. There'll be no place to go, and he is a loss of 2 as the inside of the Temple defense drops down. Let's go downstairs again to Joe Rose. Joe?
Thank you, guys. Temple Owls are having trouble stopping the run defensively right now. What they're going to try to do is mix in that 5-man front that you see now with the Arizona Wildcats. It's worked very well. They want to force them to throw the ball, believe it or not, so they can't control the ball running.
Very interesting, trying to throw to the strings for sure. 9 of 10 for Torretta, 154 yards and a TD already today. And again, out of the shotgun, something they started early in the year and they've stayed with, mostly because of the rebuilding line. He throws off to Bennett. Bennett down to the 40-yard line. That'll be shy of a first down by about 4. As that'll bring up a 3rd down and 4 yards to go. Crispina from Philadelphia. Keitha, a senior at 5'9", 186, makes the stop after the catch by Bennett.
Here you have Miami just running a little screen pass out here to Bennett. And the Owl defense does a good job at coming up, getting under the blockers because he's got blockers out front. But Donnell runs off and leaves his blockers, and Crispina comes up and makes the tackle.
Good look at Donnell Bennett. You see the sophomore, the fullback, who once again one of the top runners this year for the Miami Hurricanes. Canes only 1 of 3 on 3rd down conversions, and they'll see if they can get this one. They do to Williams. Williams, those quick feet, gets it all the way down inside the 25. They'll spot it at the 24-yard line, and that is the bread and butter before the linebacker, Scott Dennis, can catch up.
Well, that's what you want to do with a Kevin Williams, is just get the ball in his hands with some running room, because the first guy will never bring Kevin Williams down if he's got time to turn around here and face up. First guy missed, second guy missed, and you see him get him from the backside. Otherwise, he's off to the races.
Torretta, we made mention how well he has thrown the football with that 63% over the last 3 ball games. He's had 3 straight games, by the way, that he has had 3 touchdown passes. He's had 1 so far this afternoon, and he's missed only 1 pass today. The handoff to Bennett going to the outside of the 20-yard line. By the way, in that big game against West Virginia, at one stage, he was just 1 completion away. At one point, he had 13 straight passes, only 1 away from Testaverde's 14 in a row. Statistically, you see Torretta there averaging 271.75 yards. He is number 5 in the country, and you see some of the good ones, including Ward up at Florida State, a real scrambler, but throwing the ball well.
Well, I would say at this point, Torretta's playing better than any one of those guys with what he's doing for this Hurricane football team.
He's got some fans, obviously, here in family and otherwise. As Torretta on a 2nd down throw. Throwing to Bennett. Bennett was not ready for that one. That was supposed to be a little turn in, I think, but Bennett was just flying to the end zone.
A little miscue. They were on the wrong page. Torretta wanted 5 yards, and Bennett wanted the touchdown. As you see here, he just grabs it, throws it out there, and Bennett never turns and looks for the ball. But he's thinking touchdown all the way.
It's one of those things. Gino throws the ball and says, Donnell, well, what the heck? It goes out of bounds.
Donnell said, Gino, don't throw me the 5-yard pass. I want the bomb. I want to have some fun.
Sebastian the Ibis. He has been everywhere in this stadium. You see that he kind of enjoys the company of all of the fans that come out to watch Canes football at the Orange Bowl in Miami. Glad you could join us on Sunshine Network. Torretta on a 3rd down play. Over the middle. That one, as a matter of fact, off the leg of Angelo, the defender, and out of the reach of Williams. Almost looked like he reached, but just didn't quite have long enough arms on it. Bring up a 4th down, and they will try another field goal by Dane Pruitt, who's got 2 already today. Miami just dominating from the line of scrimmage and yardage so far, and on the board 20-0.
Here you see Kevin Williams coming across, and looked like he just misjudged that, or as the term is used frequently in football, short-armed it. But that was a catchable ball there.
Tom Patterson with a snap. Snyder with a hold. The kick by Pruitt, and this one's going to be a knuckleball, but it's going to be no good and off to the left. A 37-yard try, and the confidence that Pruitt had built on a 42 and 37-yarder early as he thinks about it going to the sideline. And he stops the clock with 6:03 left to play before halftime. And the Miami Hurricanes have enjoyed a successful afternoon already, leading the Temple Owls with a score of 20-0 here on homecoming day at the Orange Bowl. Miami, but they got a little more trouble, already missing Patrick Riley out with a shoulder separation. More trouble. Let's go to Joe Rose.
Thank you, guys. Kenny Lopez, the defensive tackle for the Miami Hurricanes, will not return. He has a sprained right ankle.
Number 71, Lopez out of that means that Warren Sapp, number 76, is going to get a lot more play time as it's 1st and 10 to go for Temple. Palasak again, the quarterback, giving off to Cabrera. And I tell you what, I don't know where Cabrera's been hiding for Temple, but if Sam Jenkins is their leading rusher, I'd like to see him in his heyday because Cabrera has run circles around him today.
Well, I talked with their offensive coordinator, and about 4 ball games ago, they switched their entire offense and went to the one-back offense, and that's what took Cabrera out of the system. But here you can see he's just a big, strong runner that will run over people.
Senior from Keysport, New York, has done a good job as he gains just shy of enough for the first down, gains 9 on the play, 2nd down and a yard needed. Palasak, the sophomore out of North Huntington, Pennsylvania, gives off to Cabrera again, and they do have enough for the first down. Michael Barrow, the inside linebacker from Homestead, who, by the way, reports to us that his hometown of Homestead is rebuilding nicely, thank you, and he does indeed extend his thanks not only to all of the people watching on Sunshine Network, but wherever you might be viewing on Prime Network. A lot of great help have come in, and Michael Barrow and Homestead send their thanks and their heartfelt wishes for you to have a very, very happy holiday season coming up on Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's. 1st down and 10 for Temple. 4:56 and counting in the 2nd period. A 20-0 lead. Temple threatened, you may recall, but couldn't come up with any points. Palasak. Dump off again goes to Cook, and that is Darren Smith with a quick hit after the reception and a gain of only 2. One of the nice things about it, Miami does not go into a lot of what we call the nickel defense because of the quickness of their linebackers.
Well, their linebackers are just as good as their defensive backs, and the ability to run and play guys one-on-one. And here you see Darren Smith using his speed, even though he went for the play action to spin out, come there, and he's in on the tackle once again to hold it to a 2-yard gain.
You have to keep in mind that the linebackers are responsible for that running back first, and then the tight ends coming out or anyone else coming out. And that time you saw how quickly Smith reacted to the play. 2nd down and 8, Temple. Their own 34-yard line. Cabrera behind the blocking of that left side, and again behind Trey Johnson. Gets knocked down by Barrow once again after gaining about 2 or 3 more yards. It's giving 4 on the play, and now a little scuffle breaks out. Flags fly everywhere over the field. John Smith looked like the referee of the Holyfield bullfight there last night. Riddick Bowe, the new heavyweight champion of the world. Dennis Erickson looking on saying, what in the world is going on? Unsportsmanlike conduct going against Temple. Unsportsmanlike against Miami. I guess we call those offsetting penalties.
You know, you wonder if they're ever going to call it and it's going to make a difference. You know, they always call it on both teams, but it's a way of stopping the action, and that's why they do that. Here you see, once again, they've got a little twist on the defense, and you've got Cesar coming around, but Michael Barrow is just unbelievable in how he knows where the ball is going to go. He does a good job of getting into the hole before the play develops and stopping him for a short gain.
Good shot of Trey Johnson, number 67, blocking on Jesse Armstead, number 1 for the Canes. Did a good job to kick him out of the coverage there. A 3rd down play. Palasak gets it complete to Cook again. And Peter Cook makes the reception and takes it enough for the first down for Temple. So again, peck away, but no score yet for Temple. Malcolm Pearson, the sophomore out of Fort Lauderdale, makes the stop. Well, on homecoming day here at the Orange Bowl, coming up at halftime, we'll have some halftime highlights and statistics for you. And Leonard Hamilton is ready to tap off a brand new basketball season for the Hurricane basketball people. And we'll be visiting with him what to expect from the Canes in Round Ball this year. Round Ball featured on Sunshine Network. Very busy schedule for you. Hope you'll join us. 1st and 10 for Temple. Fredericks in motion for Temple. They're throwing to Frederick. He's there and scouted at the 35-yard line. And a flag goes down as a late hit out of bounds, and that's going to be on Pearson, number 38. You saw also back there was number 45. That, of course, is Darren Smith. But again, a hit out of bounds by Pearson will tack on 15 to a nice 27-yard play.
Here you see Temple do a good job of isolating Fredericks on Darren Smith. And Pearson comes over, he hits him late, and you just can't do that. But, you know, smart play calling by the Owls offense to try and get that isolation where Darren Smith have to cover in the length of the football field.
That they also had set that up a little bit by throwing that underneath coverage, the little short things. Even though Palasak has not had a lot of time to throw, they set that up by throwing short, and then they hit the big one here.
All right, they've been going to the tight end time after time again, and you get the safeties to hang in there to look at that tight end, and all of a sudden you've got your receiver going down the sideline on a linebacker.
So the personal foul on Miami has Temple in business at the 16-yard line, make it the 15-yard line. Again, they have reached the 15 in Miami territory. They came up short the last time. Let's see what happens here. Cabrera to the outside. Armstead says no, and he knocks him down for about a 4-yard loss. By the way, Michael Barrow getting up very, very slowly back at the original line of scrimmage and hobbling a bit. But nonetheless, Armstead with a great open field tackle here.
Good job of avoiding the stiff arm. As you see, Cabrera there puts that stiff arm out, and Armstead just does a good job of going down, grabbing the legs, and taking his legs out from under him.
Armstead, of course, tackle. Coming out of Carter High School in Dallas. A senior that a lot of people felt he was not going to reach his potential, but now in his 4th year, a true senior, he has certainly come to the fore, along with Barrow and Smith, as the best of the 3 linebackers in this country. Palasak throwing near sideline. He's got Washington. I believe that may be his first catch of the day. Wilbur, their big gun, their #1 receiver with 21 receptions coming in, makes the catch. But they're going to get it just near about a yard past the original line of scrimmage, down to the 14-yard line.
Well, Palasak gets lucky here because Ryan O'Neal reads this all the way, and you see him break on the ball. He just mistimed it. Oh, that's Dexter Siegler that mistimed it, going for the pick.
So with 2:28 left to play, and again a good look at Washington as he makes the reception. The junior split in out of Tucson, Arizona. They've done a good job of getting some junior college people. And Dennis Erickson's Hurricanes right now lead it by the score of 20-0 before halftime. Expected having their way with a 20-0 lead over the Temple Owls in this Big East Conference game at the Orange Bowl in Miami. Canes trying to add their 51st consecutive home victory to the list of scalps here. They're 27th in a row overall for the NCAA so far, the current longest record. Palasak for Temple. He has a 3rd down, but it is 9 yards needed for a 1st down. And action across the line of scrimmage before that one gets underway in a hurry. Stopping the clock with 2:27 before the halftime break. Miami indicates they were drawn off by some movement of the ball. And Mr. John Smith, our referee, concurs, and it's a step off against the Temple Owls. Terry Byrne calling this play from the sideline. Miami's #1 defense staying in there. And again, the second unit in the last 2 ball games have given up 20 points in each of the last 4 quarters against Virginia Tech and West Virginia, and that did not bode well for that first defense.
Well, that's really hurt their chances of, as we stated earlier, of repeating as the nation's #1 scoring defense. And it's kind of tough when you work all year to be the best, and then the second team comes in and just don't have the pride to get it done to maintain that defensive efficiency.
By the way, I was just looking at the officiating corps, and I believe they are going to be working with 1 man shy. The injured referee, let me check them here in a minute. 3, 4, yeah, they are working 1 man shy at the moment, I believe. So the injured official was taken off the field and has not come back as of yet here before the end of the half. A 3rd down, and after the step off against Temple at the 20-yard line, Palasak, you saw the numbers on him a moment ago, has done surprisingly well, hitting 6 out of 9 passes under pressure. And this one is going to be up for grabs and intercepted. Sigler has it at the 20.
He could go.
He can outrun that lineman. Can he do it? He does, and Sigler's going to go all the way.
Great run after the interception, 89 yards by Dexter Siegler. When you talk about the Hurricane defense, they are electrifying. They find a way to come up with the big play.
Sigler getting his first intercept, and again, Palasak, who enjoyed success, got this one a tip and a touchdown on the other end.
All right, here you see the ball coming off of Washington's hands, and Dexter Siegler just in the right place, right time, breaking on the ball, and then turning on the speed. Now, you see when he starts to lean that head back, that's like having a refrigerator on your back, but he was able to go 89 yards as he was a little winded in the end.
Sigler, a junior, Avon Park in Florida will add on the 6th, and let's see if Dane Pruitt can put the 7th, and he does. So before the halftime break, with 2:10 left to play, the Canes just that quickly, their defense bowing their neck a bit to come up with a 7-pointer and a 27-0 lead over the Temple Owls here on homecoming afternoon, and the crowd is loving every moment of it today. Jerry Byrne is the only guy, along with his football team, that's come here from Philadelphia that has not enjoyed the last play.
Here you see Palisak, he has his man Washington coming in underneath, but as Washington goes to catch the ball, he's looking at Jesse Armstead. He takes his eyes off the ball, and Sigler just does a good job of reacting to the tip ball and then running through an arm tackle here, you see, and then getting up the sideline for the touchdown. Good job of running by Dexter Sigler for the TD.
And that refrigerator was getting a little heavier, right?
It got a little heavy there.
Well, speaking of great Hurricane people, Joe Rose has a very special feature for us downstairs. Joe, let's go to you.
Hamilton will be with me at halftime, but right now I want to talk a little bit about the trading cards the Miami Hurricanes and Bumblebee have come up with. Bumblebee Tuna have come up with a great card. They've given out 25,000 sets of football cards today. There's about 45,000 people here, so you can imagine a lot of excited football kids here today.
Rather interesting that already signing some autographs. A good look at Sigler there, and off to the races here in that interception.
Yeah, right about there is when he says, I've got him beat, but that refrigerator just won't come off his back. And here he knows he's got the 6. And look who's running behind him, the big Trey Johnson. We talk about 300-pounder, and you see him giving some effort, not giving up, and still trying to come back and make a big play for the offense.
Other games in the Big East today, of course, the big one at the bottom, Syracuse at Boston College. Syracuse trying to stay unblemished in the conference and get ready for their showdown against Miami coming up next week, and that'll be one of the highlight games. Temple, by the way, again closes their season against Rutgers. Well, Dane Pruitt is going to wear out that right shoe. Kicks off again here in this first half. And Lawhorn, who's had some just near misses on the runbacks, gets that wall again up the middle, but it breaks down in a hurry. Richardson, number 19, was one of the first to reach him. And then got some help from his friends as they collapse in a hurry. Robert Bass, number 49, was one of the other special teamers down there for Miami.
Well, Miami's doing a good job of coming down on that kickoff coverage, and the Owls are trying to set up what you call a wedge, where they can just bust him up through there and split it, but they're doing a good job of taking out that wedge and taking away his blocker, so he's not able to get off to the races today.
Miami, of course, likes to set the wedge, if you will, to the outside. Temple likes to do it right up the middle.
Right up the middle.
Palisak is the quarterback again, as the Owls were threatening a moment ago, but for the second time that they did that at the 15-yard line, they were thrown back by the defense. And here's the handoff, and Jenkins, number 18, is in the ball game again. By the way, that 89-yarder was the 6th longest interception return in University of Miami history. 89 yards, again by Sigler. Robert Bass made the last stop on the play. Again, that was Raphael Mack, number 28, instead of Jenkins carrying the football. Mack, a sophomore from Trenton, New Jersey, is the lone running back behind Palisak right now. Their two best receivers, Washington and Lawhorn, are split to the near side. A second down and 8 yards for Temple. They give it to Mack again. Pretty good hole for him in the middle. And he gets enough for a first down for Temple again, as they refuse to kind of fold up and go away with 1:16 to go before halftime.
Well, they're still trying to run the football and get something established where it'll help them throw the football. But here you see Rohan Marley. Miami has their second-team linebackers in, and they're just a little late in getting up, stopping that play before they gained 9 yards, first down.
Bruce Eberst, by the way, one of the reserve linebackers, a senior, fifth-year senior from Palmetto High School in Miami, along with Marley. He's just a freshman, a redshirt, also from Palmetto High. Son of the legendary reggae singer, Bob. Here's the handoff again, going to Mack, and just as we saw a moment ago, they started the ball game again with Cabrera. Then they came in with Jenkins only for a play or two, and now they've come with another running back in Raphael Mack.
Well, this is just tough luck. On that last play, Raphael Mack breaks through, Rohan Marley runs by him, and he trips and falls with blockers on the last two defenders with no one tackling. You've got to be able to capitalize when you do have an excellent play, and so far, the Owls have not been able to do that.
Gotta love Marley, 5'8", 200-pound freshman. He's like a little fire plug out there, but hits like a Mack truck. And speaking of Mack getting hit, he is as he gets the handoff, and no place to go there is Mark Caesar, fifth-year senior out of Newark, New Jersey, west side. There's a flag down in the play after Caesar got in the backfield. You know, Mark has played with the intensity everybody had hoped he would. They said he had to have a good year for the Cane defense to play well.
Yeah, they thought he would become the next Russell Maryland or Cortez Kennedy, and now he's starting to show that. He had 2 sacks in the last ball game, and today he's been in the backfield all day. So, you know, he's starting to rise to the occasion, and it's the opportune time for him to start doing that with Syracuse coming up next.
Unfortunately, a personal foul on the Canes, not so much on Mark Caesar, but somebody coming in underneath will step it off, and Dennis Erickson on the sideline. You can see he's waiting for this 8 seconds to go away. He does not have his headsets on anymore. He's ready to hit for the locker room with his 27-0 lead. And now Temple's going to call a timeout. So with 8 seconds to play and down 27-0, the Owls want to throw up a special play here before the halftime.
Create a little trick play of some sort, you know, a throwback to the quarterback, lateral for a bomb.
By the way, we'd like to make mention as well. We mentioned the 19 seniors that are to be honored here today for their final home game, saving, of course, an appearance by the Canes in the Orange Bowl, which is somewhat unlikely at the moment. We'd also like to pay a special tribute to a young man by the name of Kevin Gibbs. He was a fullback at Coral Gables High School. He died in a tragic auto accident in December of '89, and he would have been one of the graduating seniors here at the University of Miami had he not met that tragic death. And again, to Kevin Gibbs and again all of his family, I know all of these 19 seniors certainly send their regrets that he is not able to enjoy this special day for the Hurricanes. Well, the Hurricanes' remaining schedule, we made mention the big showdown in the Big East. That'll be at the Carrier Dome, inside the Dome next Saturday, and then against Marshall Falk and San Diego State on the final game of the season, November the 28th in regular season. And then what's ahead? How about the bowl games? It looks likely Miami against Alabama in the Sugar Bowl could be the most likely scenario for a national championship.
That would be the likely scenario to get 1 versus 2. But if Florida goes up and plays Alabama and beats Alabama and Florida goes to the Sugar Bowl, then the next choice would be the Cotton Bowl against Texas A&M.
Palasac will air it out on the final play, and there's Paul White with his 4th interception of the year. And White with a helmet off saying thank you very much. And the 2nd interception, and White turned around and said, I couldn't go 89 yards. I was falling down with it, but they intercept, and that's the final play of the first half of the game. So the Canes defense that may have been in the 4th quarter of the last 2 ball games rears its head again and ends it on a fine defensive play as White makes the intercept on a pass intended for Lawhorn. From Miami in the Orange Bowl, the first half is complete with the #1 ranked Miami Hurricanes enjoying a comfortable 27-0 lead over the Temple Owls. We'll start our halftime and more from the Orange Bowl after this timeout on Sunshine Network. The ball here to start the 3rd quarter. David McLaughlin will be kicking off and kicking deep down to Kevin Williams at the 6-yard line. Williams, a little opener after the 30-yard line, will be banged out of bounds just over the 35. And that's where the Canes will get it 1st and 10 here to start the 3rd period of the game. Williams and Jonathan Harris, very dangerous kick returners. A 29-yard return by Kevin Williams. Gino Toretta with 180 yards and apparently a penalty as well thrown against Temple.
I think we've got a late hit after Kevin was out of bounds.
Diego London. Yeah, they're calling offsides against Temple on the kick. Miami, I'm sure, will refuse that and take the ball at the 35. And that's exactly what our referee. Good look at some of the gentlemen who again made up the 36 members who are attending from the 1950 and the 1951 Orange Bowl and Gator Bowl teams. They're honored here at the University of Miami, and they put on just a couple of pounds along the way, but nonetheless some good sturdy men that have come here to enjoy a very special day in University of Miami history, homecoming on this 1992 day. Here's a pass almost picked off and intercepted. Crispina stepping right in front of Kevin Williams. And he had that one timed pretty good, even though Torretta had thrown it right on the string.
Yeah, he did a good job of reading the route here of Kevin Williams, and he breaks on the ball, and he just don't come down with the interception. I think Kevin had a lot to do with pulling it out, playing defender.
By the way, we were receiving some notes here at halftime, and let me back up and give a little credit where credit is due. Dexter Siegler, who had that 89-yard interception for a TD, that was his second interception. I indicated his first. He did have one earlier this year. Handoff, Donnell Bennett, the running back, trying to string it out to the near sideline, and will be knocked off his feet at the 40-yard line. Third down play. They'll need 5 to the Canes after taking this opening kickoff of the third period. Excuse me, that is going to be Larry Jones. Jones, 23. Bennett, number 33. Crespina, number 2, coming up along with Coles to make the stop for Temple. Jerry Burns must be a very tough week with all of the dark clouds that are hanging over his program at Temple and the possibility of him not returning as the head coach at Temple next year. Gino Torretta already with a good afternoon going. And the hunt for the Heisman probably needs to get that into the mid-200s, though, for an impressive afternoon. And they'll try to get the first down on the ground and will be short of it by about 1.5 yards as Jeffcoat, the nose guard from the Temple Owls, makes the first contact. McClurkin also helps out, number 76.
Here you see Miami trying to reestablish the running game, and you got Larry Jones going right up the middle. They've had success all day there, and he just barrels over Jeffcoat and come close to picking up the first down. And Miami look like they want to go for it on 4th.
By the way, that was the same play that Jones broke for the 70-yarder against West Virginia. Not much than just a little quick opener over the right-hand side as they'll bring the chains out. It appears from where the chains were marked, it's going to be about 0.5 yard short, and as they stretch it down, you can see it is about the length of the football is all. So Miami faced with his 4th down play, and Gino Torretta will bring out Terrell Green, the center, and they will go for it. Green had already gone out anticipating that Tom Patterson, the deep snapper, was coming in. Not the case, and Temple also runs several of their defenders back in as Gino Torretta will bring his ball up and will come out of, looked like he was heading for the shotgun. Now he'll bow under Green. 4th down and inches here for Miami. They give it off to the near sideline, and Jones has got the first down and then some as he barges his way out near midfield. Well, it's just like kind of loading up a gun and firing both barrels one way or the other before Jones can make the stop for Temple.
Here you see a good job of blocking at the point of attack by the entire Miami offensive line on that left side. Kirkheide and Bell, and they just do a good job of walling everybody off so that Jones was able to get 4 yards for the first down.
Larry Jones, most valuable player of the Orange Bowl last year in the big win over Nebraska. Number 23, one of the 4-backs they use with Bennett, McGuire, and we have not seen the heralded freshman Donnell Ferguson, but it is just a matter of time, I'm sure.
Well, I think going into the 4th quarter, depending on what happens, we know that we'll see him in the 4th quarter, but possibly in the 3rd quarter we'll see Donnell and quite a few of the other reserves.
By the way, there's a good look at Barrow, who you may recall was slightly injured in the early part of the ball game, and he's just trying to stretch himself out because he knows he'll be called on here shortly on this defensive unit for Miami because the offense starting to work, but a good defensive play. And McClurkin, all 6'3", 275, reached up and batted that one out of the air. A homegrown product from Philadelphia. 34 tackles and gets a knockaway on the pass there as Torretta was trying to throw it to the near sideline.
All right, Miami tried to come back and go to Larry Jones here. They tried to play earlier in the ball game where there was a miscommunication between the fullback and the quarterback, so they came back to it, but McClurkin did a good job of getting his hands up, batting it down.
Torretta checking off at the line of scrimmage. 2nd down and 10 yards to go, shy of midfield. Goes to Jones. Jones with a little stutter step will gain about 3 yards. By the way, that 70-yarder he had against West Virginia last week, we indicated was the longest since an 80-yard romp by O.J. Anderson against Florida State back in the 1978 season. So it's been a long time coming to get a long run, and Jones was the man that broke it. Downing and McClurkin were the man that made the stop on Jones inside for Temple, bringing up his 3rd down and 7 yards to go. 3rd down conversions, only a 3rd so far, 2 of 6 for Miami, and the shotgun Torretta. A little more time to throw with that. It broke down, but he gets the completion, and he's going to throw it complete to Coleman Bell, top receiver for the Canes, having made 35 coming to the game. And he has a couple of words with Darrell Nelson, number 37, the man that brought him down, the Rover back.
Here you see Coleman Bell. He's just a great athlete. Here he goes up, hangs up there, and catches the ball in his hands. And that's what you like to see with your receivers. Catching the ball in your hand, not trying to bar to catch it. But there he had to go up and come down with it. Good job by Coleman Bell.
Well, he's caught at least one pass now in 18 consecutive games. 114 yards versus West Virginia. 117 against Virginia Tech, by the way, was his career high. So Coleman Bell putting some good numbers up. Here's Jones with that little flare out of the backfield. He'll be wrestled out of bounds. Bogiani will make the stop. John from Phoenix, Arizona, again a transfer from Glendale Community College, using the junior college route to try to bolster up the Owls for Coach Jerry Byrne, while Dennis Erickson has just taken this freshman, using the red shirts very, very well and very wisely, has got himself a very deep football team right now.
Miami's done a tremendous job over the years of redshirting their incoming freshmen and getting them the opportunity to learn what college is all about before they have to concentrate on playing football.
That's when you consider Ferguson, who has been playing behind the other people and playing in his first year. They, of course, knew he was good. Here's Lamar Thomas on the run for a Torretta pass, and they had thrown it up the far sideline, trying to beat over there Glasper, but just too much out of his range.
No, he had him beat on that one. He had a couple steps on him, and Gino just rushed it a little bit there and didn't put any air on it. Usually you see Gino hanging high and let his receivers go get it, and this one he tried to line it in. You know, he knew he had the 6, and he just put a little too much zip on it instead of hanging it.
Let me finish my comment on Coleman Bell for a moment. He has 3 plus 100-yard gains this season, the first time since All-American Willie Smith did that back in 1984. So Coleman Bell making a little notch in his gun here as top receiver. Over the middle, they throw to Horace Copeland. Speaking of great receivers, and Copeland's going to catch it, but now it's going to bring up a 4th down and short yardage play. They'll lead 3 to the Canes. The free spirit Roman Hale makes the stop out of Westchester, Pennsylvania, number 46, a good one. 70 tackles coming in, and Dennis Erickson has waved it on. They're going to go for another 4th down play.
Well, you know, they've gotten a lot of work with the field goal already, so this is the time to work on their offense. They're very comfortably ahead, so why not?
Paul Snyder, the forgotten punter for the Hurricanes, has not had to toe one up. He has held on extra points and field goals, as Jones will get just enough for the first down, and looks like when he elongated himself over the 25 down to about the 24, that may have been just enough for the stretch to get the first down for Miami.
That shows a lot of confidence in that Miami offensive line. It's 4th and 3, 4th and 4, and Miami is known for throwing the football, but here you see they run Larry Jones off the right tackle with Etheridge doing the blocking, and he leans out for the first down.
John Stone, just a freshman, watching some early tapes of the Temple ball games. He had a tendency to hit everybody late and got several personal foul penalties early. But once he gets himself in gear, he's going to be a good one for Temple. Here's Torretta over the middle, throwing, intended for Chris Jones, throwing for Spencer. And Darrell Spencer makes a diving catch down at the 5-yard line, and the ruthless posse has him set up with a 1st and goal to go at the 5 after a 19-yard pass from Torretta.
Excellent throw and catch by Gino Torretta and Darrell Spencer. Here you see Torretta goes back, and Spencer's not really that much uncovered, and he throws it low where only Spencer can come up with the catch. Good catch by Spencer, great throw by Torretta.
Spencer again, trouble with a bad knee coming to the season, but has now worked himself into full condition and just in time. Syracuse, San Diego State, the last 2 games of the season on the road for the Canes. Torretta throwing the jump ball to Copeland. Does he have it? No, he says he traps it. Copeland, oh my, a back flip in the end zone, but he didn't get the touchdown. I wonder what he'll do if he scores a touchdown. And he ran right out of his shoe. I want to tell you, that is an athletic move. Oh my.
Well, you know what the great part about that was? Copeland thought he had the touchdown. He did the back flip, and Crispina said back at you, and he did a back flip. Let's go back and look at a play. Here you see Torretta goes back, throws it, lobs it up for Copeland. Copeland goes down. He makes a diving catch as he feels, so he gets up and he does this double flip. Here we go. Boom. We got a flip by Copeland. Now let's see Crispina. We missed it. But then Crispina said back at you, and he did a flip.
Well, Gino Torretta coming to the line of scrimmage with a 2nd down.
There you go. Coming out of the corner of your screen, you see Crispina say, you haven't done anything I can't do, big guy.
It's like Barnum and Bailey circus going on here, folks. Right now, it's a 27-0 score. with a second down and goal to go. Let's pause for a moment with our score 27-0. We'll be right back after this from Coors Light, the Silver Bullet. It's the right beer now.
Pop quiz.
Oh, no.
Fire away. Which beer do you think is brewed longer?
This one overall has better flavor. The darker one.
Bingo. All right, homie! Coors Extra Gold is brewed far longer than Bud.
Seriously? Than Budweiser?
70% longer than Bud.
And you know what? I can taste it.
Slow brewed for that real beer flavor and color, the way beer was meant to be, which may be why 58% of Bud drinkers prefer Coors Extra Gold.
I'll make it 59 and 60.
Coors Extra Gold. If you're missing real taste, beer is back.
The gold, baby. The name says it.
In tennis, you don't just play.
Like he came up with the touchdown catch there from that angle, and here you see him does the backflip, little acrobatics. I give him a 9.8 for that. Wait a minute. And then Crispina says, no, you haven't done it any better than I can, but you know, he didn't come straight
As a
to
9-4.
attention, so that's like a 9-4.
Yeah.
I still give Copeland the victory.
No contest, no contest. Looked like Copeland made the catch, though. Got his hands on the ground, but the referee right on top of it said no. Second down, goal to go at the 6-yard line. Beretta again, all changing the signal at the line of scrimmage. He's got Larry Jones behind him. He's going to give it to LJ, and he cuts to the right side. He'll gain a couple of yards inside the 4. They may give him down to the 3-yard line. It'll bring up a third down and goal to go. Nelson, the Rover, was right up on the line of scrimmage for Temple to make that stop, number 37. Also coming in was Crispina.
Sam, one of the things that's so impressive about Gino Torretta is that you see him checking off at the line of scrimmage, but he checks the runs. He tries to get his team in the best possible play for them to have success. He's not always checking to a pass. You know, most quarterbacks, when you see him check off, it's going to be a throw.
Jones already with 6 carries for 43 yards. Has some more running help in there as Donnell Bennett has checked in to block for him now. And Gino Torretta sees something he doesn't like on a third down play. No, Temple saw something they didn't like, and they take the timeout. So a defensive timeout has been taken here at the Orange Bowl in Miami. 9:15 left to play in the third period. The Canes threatening to score again against the Owls, who are trying to hold off their 9th loss of the year against a single victory so far this year.
Check your calendar. Here's something you don't want to miss. The Florida Home and Health Expo at the Central Florida Fairgrounds, November 13th through the 15th. There's something for everyone. Hundreds of products, services, and activities under one roof. See cartoonist Jake Vest at the Affordable Garage Door booth Saturday. Take advantage of free health screenings and register to win great prizes like airfare for 2 to Jamaica and Costa Rica, free cruise drawings, complete pool heating package, microwave oven, and see McGruff the Crime Dog. The Florida Home and Health Show at the Central Florida Fairgrounds, November 13th through the 15th. Check it out.
Hi, I'm Larry Rinker, welcoming you to the 3rd annual Red Lobster Larry Rinker Charity Golf Classic, benefiting the Second Harvest Food Bank. Our classic kicks off November 29th with the AT&T Cellular One Pairings Party at the Orlando Museum of Art with jazz great Doug Cameron. On November 30th, enjoy a round of golf with my tour buddies at Aliquot Country Club. So come on out for some great golf, art, food, and jazz.
Competitiveness of Courier, charm of Michael Chang, and outrageous attitude of Andre Agassi. Battle in Belgium for the European Community Championship. The finals, Sunday at 2 on Sunshine Network.
The Miami Hurricanes, who have scored in 14 consecutive quarters, try to add another score here in this third period, leading 27-0. And here's Torretta back to throw in the end zone. He's got a touchdown, Kirkcaldy. Kevin Kirkcaldy makes his 2nd career touchdown catch. He got one early this year against Florida A&M, and now makes his 2nd. The 5th-year senior, 6'4", 230, out of Jacksonville Bowles High School. And Torretta has now thrown his 46th touchdown pass, 2 away from tying a school record of Testaverde and Walsh.
Excellent play call here, getting Torretta outside of the pocket by running a little roll to his left, and then Kirkcaldy coming wide open with no one around him.
Here's the point after try. And Dane Pruitt is perfect there as he puts it through, and the numbers continue to add up. 34-0 now, with the Hurricanes enjoying their homecoming 93, and they're still scuffling down on the field after the point after. Both ball clubs, and now a flag finally goes down, and I mean a lot of them. And we'll see if this is going to be offsetting, as we had a personal foul called on both teams a moment ago. That, by the way, is Tom Patterson, the deep snapper, number 57. And you saw Dennis Erickson was right out there talking to him very quickly, as Patterson was right in the middle of that action along with McClurkin. Let's go downstairs to Joe Rose. Joe?
Thank you guys very much. I have another very special guest with me. Yes, the number one signed pick for the Florida Marlins, Charles Johnson. Charles, congratulations.
Thank you.
You are now the first signee, the number one pick for the Florida Marlins. You've got to be excited about your chances of playing in an organization close to home.
Oh, yes. I live 2 hours away from Joe Robbie Stadium, and my chances of playing are very great. I got to go in and play the best I possibly can and work hard, and I can't control the results, but I can work hard.
It took a long time to get the contract. There was talk that you may be coming back. Was there any question in your mind that you'd sign?
Oh, I knew for sure I was going back to school because during the summer, the Marlins didn't make a real big effort to sign me, but they came on later last week to make a great effort to sign me, and I accepted the offer.
Now, you two, you tell me, are a great Hurricane football fan. Haven't missed any home games.
I haven't missed not one home game. I come here every game. I support all my friends. I have a lot of guys there I came to school with my freshman year, and they now seniors now, and a lot of them are leaving. I'm supporting. There's one right there, my homeboy, Ryan McNeil. I support him all the time. He's a great guy.
Okay, well, thank you very much. I know the Sunshine Network's very excited about watching you play at the Florida Marlins.
Thank you.
Okay, back up to you guys.
Thank you very much. And again, the catcher on that Olympic team that went over. We'd like to remind you, of course, the Florida Marlins will be coming up. Expansion special on Tuesday, November the 17th, as quite obviously the numbers will start to fly on who will be playing for the first Marlin. Again, live at 2 p.m. Check your local listings for all of the information on the Marlins.
Here we get another play. The play action pass rolling Torretta out to his left, and here he hits Kevin Kirkcaldy wide open with no one around him.
So the Canes come up with it. You saw Kevin trying to get his headgear off. That, of course, is a patent of Lamar Thomas. When he makes the touchdown, he gets that lid off. And now with a step off on the personal foul against Temple, it is going to be a kickoff at the 50-yard line. So the personal foul did go against the Temple Owls as Patterson was in the middle of it. But again, McClurkin must have been the man that committed the foul as they kick off by Pruitt. And someone may have a souvenir just short of going into the end zone and out. So it'll be Temple's ball, first down and 10. They'll have it at their own 20-yard line and trailing now 34-0. Still 9:10 to go in this third period of the ball game from the Orange Bowl. And yes, sir, they are number one. 5 minutes and 50 seconds. Good long sustained drive there. Kirkcaldy with a 3-yard reception again from Gino Torretta. 46 touchdown passes now as a Cane quarterback. Getting ready to check in. This may be, is it Linhart? It is. It is Luke Linhart, once again number 14, the quarterback for Temple. He started the ball game, and Palasak, of course, had gone most of the way since early in the first period. And off straight ahead as Temple just tries to wedge out some yards up the middle.
This is a real difficult situation for the Temple Owls because you're looking at them possibly losing their head coach this year, and you want to build, and you're getting blown away here, and you say, well, we should get something positive out of this game. Let's work on some things. But in the process, it's hard to do that, being that the coach might not be there next year, and you got Frank Costas over there warming up on the sideline. So we might have seen the last of Gino Torretta today.
Well, by the way, he'll be very excited. He is a Philadelphia product. Here's a pass intended for Cook, knocked away as Bass and Smith were right there on top of him. Excuse me, that's going to be Greer. Number 29, Casey Greer, was right on top. A young man from Memphis Hamilton High School, a fifth-year senior. And again, Smith, as I indicated. But again, back to Frank Costa. He is a young man that prepped at St. Joe's Prep in Philadelphia, so he'll look forward to playing against the Temple Owls if indeed he gets in there.
All right. Here we see the ball being dropped. Lenhard made a good throw in there, and the tight end just dropped the ball. Cook, they've got to help the quarterback out. You've got 4 freshman quarterbacks that are struggling, and they need help. So their receivers, whether it's the quarterback, the defense, the backs or the wide receivers, they've got to come up and make some plays for them.
Washington and Longhorn, their 2 best receivers to the near sideline. They were throwing for Washington, covered by Armstead. Out of his reach and out of bounds will bring up a 3rd down, and they'll need about, 4th down, and they'll need 6 here for the Temple Owls. Will have to kick the ball, and they will be kicking into now what has turned in to a little bit more of a northeasterly breeze coming out of the open east end of the Orange Bowl. It now is starting to quarter back to the north, but he will be kicking in and win, and this will hold up for Kevin Williams.
Let's see if Miami does a good job of holding the offensive line there at the line of scrimmage, giving Kevin a chance to catch the ball and get headed upfield a little bit better.
Pretty good containment that time. Barrows back there to block, but Williams is not going to get a chance at the ball. Takes a good tempo bounce, and it'll be whistled dead at the 43-yard line. So the Miami Hurricanes will take over 1st and 10, and they'll have the ball after a 33-yard punt by John Shea. And it will be Frank Costa will be the quarterback of note. He is a sophomore, 3rd-year man. 21 completions on 36 passes. A good look at Frank. 214 pounds, 6'4", kind of that prototype that they tried to project here around the University of Miami. And Frank is just licking his lips and waiting in the wings because he knows Torretta is through after this year.
The job is his, as he sees it at this point for next year. But you've got a couple of young guys that's behind him that's saying that it's not going to be that easy.
Steve Walker's younger brother might be another one, along with Ryan Collins. And off to the outside as again the Canes try to use a little bit of the running game to set up the passing game of Costa. Try to get him into the game early here on his first snap, and McGuire's back in there. A little bit of the sure-handed senior to help him out with the handoffs. Scott Holland makes the stop, number 93 for Temple.
Right, you want the sophomore quarterback to come in and have some success. You don't want to put him in the fire, even though you're playing a team that you're beating pretty badly, but you still want to build Frank Costa's confidence, not just for today, but for the future.
How many times have you seen Gino Torretta do this? He's taken off the wraps. He's through for the day with 7.5 left to play in the 3rd period. A snap from center is fumble. Costa has to fall on it himself, and well, just as you talked about, a little bit nervousness by Frank Costa trying to make things happen too quickly.
Well, he just pulled out there a little early. Especially on a running play, when you're running wide, you have a tendency to come out. There you see him come out instead of hanging in there, and the ball goes between his hands. Where if he'd have stayed in there a little bit longer and received the snap, then he's able to sprint out and give the ball to the back going wide.
Number 54, Lance Johnstone, had a shot at that fumble had it been a little bit further in front of him. On 3rd down conversions, only 4 of 9 this afternoon for Miami, and they've got a 3rd down, and they need a little over 6 yards. Costa checking off as he brings McGuire right up to the line of scrimmage. And he throws. It's complete to Harris, but he's going to be shy of a 1st down, maybe. It depends on the spot. It'll be very, very close, and they may have to bring the chains the length or width of the field. Coles made the stop for Temple after the catch by Harris. That could be a pretty good duo. A sophomore, Jonathan Harris, out of Houston Forest Brooks. And Costa, the sophomore from Philadelphia.
He did stretch out far enough to get the 1st down. They didn't have to measure. Good job of stretching out for the 1st down, getting that extra yardage by Jonathan Harris.
Costa, by the way, was the man that threw the first touchdown pass to Kevin Kirkheide in the Florida A&M game. And that's been his only career touchdown pass of this season for the Hurricanes for him as he's back to throw. Going over the middle, and Williams had a man pretty well latched onto him. Crispina had made some contact as the ball went whistling by Kevin Williams. Crispina's a fiery little guy, I tell you.
Crispina is a very talented guy that loves to hit. And there you have Gino Torretta and his brother Jeff.
Jeff was behind Testaverde, right?
Right. He also played here at the UM, and it's the Torretta family.
Well, you saw the numbers of Gino and the Heisman Trophy. He's got to consider that with the score 34-0, how much longer would you leave him in? Dennis Erickson said that's long enough. Let the youngsters get some time, and they do. Here's the snap out of the shotgun over Costa's head. Let's see if he can recover. He's throwing. It's going to be incomplete. He was throwing the near sideline to McGuire, and he gets buried back up the field. He made a good job to even get to the ball and throw it incomplete.
Yeah, Costa showed a lot of poise there, Sam. He did a good job of taking his time, going back, not panicking, picking the football up, and then just throwing it out of bounds to save the sack.
They bring the ball back, and the line of scrimmage is still at 3rd down and 10, and whoops.
Well, I don't know if he's gotten as much work as Gino at the shotgun, but, he's got to watch the football into his hands the same as a receiver, and, that's one that he should have caught.
Now he goes up under Green and changes the play as he brings McGuire tight in the slot to the left side. He's throwing to Lamar Thomas. He's got it at the 20, sidesteps him in at the 15 and down to the 7-yard line. What a beautiful play by Lamar Thomas. There's that patented Lamar Thomas. Get that lid off and show your face. Nice pass after a 38-yard pass and run by Lamar Thomas from Costa.
A real good pass by Costa here. He does a good job of getting it in there, and he's got this thing on a string. It's on a line. Lamar does a good job of catching the ball and trying to run after the catch where, he's at 8 touchdowns for the year, and he needs one more to get in fast company with Eddie Brown and Michael Irvin, the only other receivers to ever score 9 touchdowns in a season.
Angelo was the last man that could have stopped Thomas before making the touchdown run as Costa gives off to McGuire, cuts back. McGuire already the all-time touchdown scorer for running the football with 33, and cuts it down to near the 5-yard line, make it the 5.5. Hale and Bagiani make the stop for Temple. Thomas taking a rest on the sideline. He's getting a word of advice, I know, from Cy Tucker, who made his first career touchdown. He said, now, I would have cut back the other side. Take a look at the numbers on Lamar Thomas. That's it. Get the lid off. That's hot. Oh, there it is. 114 yards on only 4 catches today.
Well, he's coming up big today. He's coming off a big game last week, and he's peaking right at the right time. You've got Syracuse next week, and the entire offensive football team have to be ready to play to go up there and beat Syracuse at the Carrier Dome.
Flag is down as McGuire takes out half the press corps on the near sideline as Crispino goes out of bounds. As he knocks him down on that side along with Angelo, who's had a very busy afternoon, number 20 and number 2. There's a penalty against Miami on the flags. Dennis Erickson, kind of one of those trying times. You're ahead 34-0. You want to get the youngsters in the ball game. You, first of all, do not want to get anybody hurt. They've already lost another one of their down defensive linemen in Kenny Lopez with an ankle injury. However, Patrick Riley, who has a separated shoulder, could be ready for Syracuse next week. But again, you don't want to get in this ball game where you start getting people taking some cheap shots and quite obviously get some people hurt for the Syracuse game next week.
Well, that's something you always think about as a head coach. But, Coach Erickson is also showing a lot of class today to his seniors. The seniors have been here for 4 years, 5 years, whatever. And, they're giving it their all, and they're playing their last game possibly here in the Orange Bowl. So he's letting them play a little bit longer.
5-yard mark-off against Miami will bring up a 2nd down, and they are at their own 15-yard line with goal to go. Costa standing in there. He throws complete to Copeland to the touchdown. He's got it for Miami. Costa with his 2nd career touchdown pass, and Copeland does the dirty work as he takes it in. 15-yard pass and run, and Copeland scores for Miami to go up with a score of 40-0.
Here you see isolation, and you got Jonathan Harris coming and with Copeland coming off his little pick. And then he does a good job of shaking the tackle there and then really showing that world-class speed, diving into the end zone. Good run after the catch by Horace Copeland.
Only his 2nd touchdown of the season, despite the fact that he's made great receptions, 32 all year long. Pruitt will tack on the extra point for Miami, leading by the score of 41-0 with 4:33 left to play. As a good look at Horace Copeland, the near sideline, the 4th-year senior out of Orlando at Evans High School. And a good one as he makes the reception from Costa. Well, Miami again in command in the 3rd.
Imagine the luxury of being able to sit anywhere, anytime. Now you can with Sports Seat.
It's that simple. Sports Seat is a durable, lightweight walking stick that gets you where you want to go. Sports Seat's unique pistol grip handle is safe and functional. Just unfold it and it's a sturdy, comfortable seat. Sports Seat guarantees you a seat for any activity. Golfing, camping, travel, virtually any spectator event. Use it at work or at play, for the family or for yourself. Sports Seat makes a great gift. Just think of the possibilities. Sports Seat is strong. Its patented rugged design holds up to 250 pounds, yet it weighs only 28 ounces. Guaranteed for a year. Use it for a lifetime.
Sports Seat, only $19.95 Visa or MasterCard. Call 1-800-328-1900 now for a special limited time offer. That's 1-800-328-1900. Or send check or money order plus $4.50 shipping and handling to Sports Seat. Sorry, no CODs.
Tampa Bay's about to light up the NHL. The Lightning will provide a season full of action, emotion, and speed. All you need to provide is the Thunder. Be there every time Lightning strikes Tampa Bay by ordering season tickets now. Call 813-229-8800 for information on full and half-season ticket packages. Either way, it's a great value. Tampa Bay Lightning Hockey. You provide the Thunder.
Sam Smith along with Nat Moore and Joe Rose here at the Orange Bowl in Miami. Another big day for the Canes, now leading 41-0, and Costa in control.
Here you see Costa going to Copeland, a little double clutch, but then you see Copeland does a good job, once again, of spotting that end zone and getting in there.
58 yards in the 8 plays, 332 engineered by, again, the sophomore Frank Costa. 15-yard reception by Copeland, his second touchdown of the season. And Pruitt again will get a toe into it, and again they kick to this man, Lawhorn, averaging 33 yards per return, but he has not had that kind of afternoon yet. And he's knocked off his feet, and that's going to be Richardson, the first man to reach him, number 19, and knocks him down after a 14-yard return. So the numbers are just about in half for the punt returner and kickoff man, Lawhorn, who has just failed to get on track, and he hasn't been able to catch the ball either, which is a real key against Temple today. Toretta and company pretty much relaxed. Costa's still kind of anxious to get things going. Number 11, you see him there. And he's kind of working on that shotgun snap here.
Right, he had trouble handling the first one, and the high snap is what you always worry about as a coach when you put the shotgun in. And he just didn't do a good job of handling that first snap.
By the way, they may be working with Alan Simonette, who will be the center when they come back out on offense. Handoff again, and there's that man that did so well early in the ball game. That is Cabrera, the senior co-captain here for the Temple Owls, and he gets it out to around the 29-yard line. Near 30-yard line is Mark Caesar, still playing one of the down linemen. By the way, number 94 has been playing a lot this afternoon with Riley and now Lopez out of there, and that is Dwayne Johnson. Johnson, a 6'5" sophomore from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. As you see, Walsh, the younger brother of Steve Walsh, who played here and is tied with Testaverde with 48 career touchdown passes, but Toretta is looming with 46 right behind both. Cabrera carrying people with him. Short of the first down, it looks like, by about a half a yard or so, but near the final stake, and the first team defense is staying in there. A lot of pressure on Walsh as he comes from Minneapolis, Minnesota, comes in here following the footsteps of his big brother, but has a lot of confidence in his game, and so do the Hurricanes and him.
Has a lot of confidence, and the coaching staff really like his ability. He's a very talented kid that they want to bring along slowly, but he'll be in that race for next year's starting quarterback once Toretta leaves.
Third down and 1 yard needed here for the Owls. Back to throw. Linhart running for his life and throws well over the head, and the intended receiver is Washington. That'll bring up a fourth down and punt time once again here for the Owls of Temple. Defensive coaches for the Hurricanes have done such a great job. Defensive coordinator and secondary coach Sonny Lubick. Ed Orgeron, the defensive line coach. Tommy Tuberville with the linebackers. What a job he's done. And Randy Shannon, a former linebacker himself here with the Canes, assistant defensive line and linebacker coach. Greg Mark, along with Eric Price, the graduate assistants on that defensive side, and they've all done yeoman work this year, and we salute them for the work that we've enjoyed on Sunshine. Here's going to be the fake, and this is something they used against Virginia Tech as they snap it to the short man, and that is Hale, number 46. They tried this play as he lines up as the blocker for the punter, and they snap it right to him, and you see it. It's an explosive play for the Temple Owls. And there's that quick snap, and he's off to the races. Nobody saw him coming.
All right, here you see the Miami defense special teams just went to sleep. You know, you got 4th and inches. The team's losing 41-0. You've got to sit there and make sure of the snap and be ready to play defense if they are faking it. There they were not.
19 yards on that carry by Hale. And it's first down for Temple as they have reached the 49 in Miami territory. They have been to the 15 twice this afternoon, but have failed to score. Handoff again, Cabrera, line of scrimmage. That's it. No more. They've used that running game to try to set up a little bit. They're not looking as much to the little short dump-in passes. Remember that? They set up the long pass that they hit with Fredericks the one time when they set up the short dump-ins, but they're not doing that anymore.
Well, they're not able to get the ball to the tight end because the linebackers are locking in on the tight ends a little bit more, so they've tried to come back with Cabrera running the ball up the middle, and they've had a lot of success with that, but you know, they're not winning the battle of the line of scrimmage consistently to be able to run the football effectively.
Second down and the same 10 yards to go with no gain from Cabrera. Leonard throwing over the middle, and it is going to be incomplete as the intended receiver down there came up with a catch, but he just could not come up with it before it touched the turf. And number 19 is Mark Baxter. Baxter, by the way, is also a quarterback of note. Here's a reminder that the National Hockey League is right here on Sunshine. How about the Lightning of Tampa Bay against the Blues of St. Louis? Saturday, November 21st, live beginning at 8 p.m. with a pregame. Check your local listings as Tampa Bay has moved to the top of their division in the National Hockey League. Lightning really surprising a lot of folks over in the Tampa Bay area. 1 of 8 on conversions, fourth down for the Temple Owls as a timeout has been called, and young ladies enjoying a very special afternoon. Homecoming, I know at Florida was always a special time as well. It's always fun to go back home, I know.
Well, it's always a great opportunity, not only for the students, but, you know, for all of the alumnus and fans that get a chance to come back and see a lot of friends. And usually you try and schedule a game that you hope to have some fun. And, you know, they've got that today in playing Temple. You know, Temple has had a tough year all year, and it was just a credit that they were coming in here and have tried to do the best they could to compete against the #1 team in the country. So, you know, when you start talking homecoming, all of the fans look forward to that day when they all get to come back and visit people that they went to school with.
Well, as Jerry Burt visits with Leonard across the way, let me read you some names of those that are departing for their final home game. Armstead, Torretta, Snyder, Bell, Greer, McGuire, Spencer, Thomas, Smith, McNeil, Barrow, Eberst, also Etheridge, Cristobal, London, Vickers, Kirk-Kitey, Copeland, and Caesar. Those are the 19 seniors, 16 of which are starters with the punter Snyder. 17 very key people, and for that matter, 19 all very integral parts for this Miami Hurricanes #1 team.
And as you say, you have to wonder, how will they replace them? But then when you look at the talent that the University of Miami has, you know, they've been replacing them year after year for a long time.
And doing it very nicely, thank you, Dennis Erickson. 2 of the 3 years prior to this year, he won a national title. He may have another one, as there is Barrow chasing down Leonard and forced him to throw an errant pass, and it was almost picked off by the other linebacker, Armstead, as he was chasing down the intended receiver. Well, I tell you what, he is tenacious when he gets after the quarterback.
Right, here you see Michael Barrow coming through, and you know, Lenhart does just a good job of getting the ball off, avoiding the sack, but Michael Barrow just has unbelievable ability at timing the blitz. I mean, he hits the hole right as the ball is being snapped, and you know, do not give the guard or the center a chance to block on him.
You can bet somebody's going to hit number 46 Hale this time on this punt or near punt. You may recall that he ran for 19 yards on the fake a moment ago, and that is he blocking for Shea, the punter, who will get it away to Williams. A wobbly kick to the near sideline and goes out of bounds. It'll depend on how far they walk it up. And it's going to be just inside the 30. They'll spot it down at the 28-yard line, and that's where it'll be the Hurricanes football, 1st and 10. And Shea is not happy about that punt, I know.
Well, he's not happy, and Kevin Williams is not happy because he wants to make something happen. But he now has his team holding people up, and then the kicker won't cooperate, won't kick it to him. So, you know, it's a tough situation for Kevin Williams, who is really trying to break out of a slump. You know, everybody came in with high expectations with the great punt returns of last year, and this year he just haven't been able to get off track. And once again, the kicker kicks the ball out of bounds.
By the way, we're going to see a lot of new fresh linemen, including number 73. We'll get a shot at him. 6'7", 320-pound freshman. Ricky Perry will be playing the right tackle spot. And they say he's going to be a good one. Here's the handoff, and it goes to Ferguson, the freshman. There is a flag behind the play, however, as Costa handing off. And this is the future of the Canes, certainly. Sophomore quarterback, freshman running back. But again, a penalty, and more than likely, it appears, will go against the Canes. Coles is the man that ran Ferguson finally out of bounds and shows some great speed when he gets on the outside.
Well, he is their speed back, and he has the ability to not only run inside, but to get outside, turn the corner, and maybe go the distance.
John Smith has been our referee, indicates a hold on the Miami Hurricanes. By the way, we notice number 77. Bobelski is in there. Simonette is the center, number 66. Padroni, number 69, is one of the guards. And again, Perry is one of the tackles. We'll check one of the inside guards a moment ago. Well, the streak. Canes have scored 40 or more points 20 times in winning 50 consecutive football games here at the Orange Bowl in Miami. They're going for number 51, and the dots are silent right now. They have been punctuation marks on some big scores this afternoon with a 41-0 lead. Here's Perry, number 73. You see how big this guy is. He'll protect for Costa on the shotgun. A little better snap this time. Pressure's on. The screen set up for Ferguson. Ferguson loses the ball as he's knocked out of bounds, and after the big step off against Miami, they're just going to get it back to a 13 yards needed for the first down. Again, after Ferguson is banged out of bounds. Joe Rose is standing by downstairs. Joe?
Well, for a lot of seniors, you can see over here on the sideline, a lot of the seniors are taking their pads off. They're done for the day. They're waving the crowd. Lamar Thomas, a lot of the guys having a good time. But this will be it for 19 seniors unless we see the Orange Bowl or the Hurricanes in the Orange Bowl.
Well, they've had themselves quite an afternoon of football again, as expected against the Temple Owls, coming in at only 1-8. Costa, a little delay. Fake there, comes to the outside. Kirkheide, boy, he wanted to look that one in, but just absolutely took his eyes off of it and loses a good reception. It would have been short of the first down, but Natty had some running room that could have gotten the first down for him.
He had a lot of running room, and you know, the thing is, he just didn't come down with the catch, but he did keep his eyes on the football, where most times when you drop the football, you take your eyes off. Looked like he jumped a little too soon, and then on the way down was not able to just hang there and make the reception.
Well, you saw a moment ago one of the Temple Owls momentarily shake it up across the way. We'll check on it here in just a moment. That is Johnstone, number 54. He was momentarily shaken up. Well, I would like to remind you that the NBA basketball and Sunshine are hand in hand again this year. How about the Magic with the Shack Attack? They host the Warriors of Golden State Thursday, November the 19th, live beginning at 7 p.m. with our pregame. The game will not be shown in some areas of South Florida, so please check your local listings for the Magic against the Warriors. And if you have not seen Shaquille O'Neal, 7 feet, over 300 pounds, running like a small forward, you are in for quite a treat. He is a super athlete. 5th in scoring in the league, number 1 in rebounding, averaging over 16, and number 5 in the league in shots blocked. So he is truly making an impact already.
But just think, the scary part is he's only going to get better.
That's right. When he learns the game, right?
I tell you what, he is one heck of a basketball player.
Jerry Burnt, you see him on the sideline. Jerry, of course, is toiling in his 4th year for the Temple Owls. He had a very successful run at the University of Pennsylvania from 81 to 85. 5 years there. As a matter of fact, in 84 became the first ever Pennsylvania undefeated team in the Ivy League. He won 4 straight titles there. Really kind of set that up when he was an assistant at Dartmouth, where they too won 4 straight Ivy League championships. But he's had rough roads, not only at Rice, where he was the athletic director and head coach, winning only 6 games, but now winning only 11 in his 4 years so far with the Temple Owls. Shotgun for Costa on this 3rd down play. Over the middle. He's got Chris Jones, but Chris cannot hang on to it. A collision by the Temple Owls, but Jones also had a pass that was very catchable, and that would have been the first down for Miami, but it's not. And guess what? Paul Snyder will be the man that has not been used all day long to punt the ball anyway. Will have to come on.
Well, Paul's saying, thank you. I'm a senior. I want to get some of this action, and I'm finally going to get a chance to punt. But that was a catchable ball that, Costas has had 2 balls that would have gotten him the first down that was dropped. So he's 4 for 8, but 2 of those were not his fault. Good throws, and they just didn't come down with the ball for him.
One of the Temple Owls has been shaken up. You saw the collision behind the ball after that catch was made.
I think that's Jeff Coles that's down there.
It is. Jeff Coles, a freshman from Philadelphia, 5'11", 185. He and Tony Angelo, number 20, have had busy days at that free safety spot. And there you get a good look at Paul Schneider. Schneider's averaging 39.8 yards so far in his 48 kicks so far. That is slightly above his 38.4 he had last year. His longest came in the opening game of the season, 55 against the Hawkeyes of Iowa. He'll have a slight breeze, which has died a little bit, believe it or not, contrary to what my hair might look like when we get on top of this building again. And here's the kick by Schneider. He may punt only once today, but he has boomed a beauty. And it is Baxter back to try to do the returns, and a flag is down. Baxter has had some injury problems. He started the year kind of alternating at one of the quarterback spots and returning punts. But he pulled up with some injuries and has been sidelined. Marcus Carey, number 48, you see there making the stop after a 49-yard kick with a 7-yard return. And it's holding against Temple, as if they needed any more problems. 36 seconds to go before the end of the third period. And you see Michael Barrow and his number 1 defense still in there.
Well, I think Coach Erickson agreed to let the seniors on defense play at least 3 quarters, being that this is their last home game. And, on that defensive football team, you've got so many local guys here that it's an opportunity for their family and friends to see them play their last game here at home.
2 touchdown passes here in this third period. Torretta to Kirkheide and Costa to Copeland have accounted for the scoring here in this third period of the ball game. Again, Temple has yet to get off the goose egg. They threatened a couple of times, but the defense indeed did throw them back. Well, back in to handle the quarterbacking chores is Palachek. Palachek relieved Linhart, who was the starter. Palachek had a pretty good run there for a while as he throws incomplete on the near side to Fredericks. Dexter Sigler had the end zone in sight again as he made a try for the intercept.
Once again, a little pass that's a little bit low, and the receiver almost bats it up and gives Sigler a chance to come up with another deflected ball for 6.
Well, the 3 linebackers are going out. Eberst along with Marley. And also coming in there is Robert Bass. So number 2, 49, and 61 replace 1, 56, and 45. That, of course, Armstead, Barrow, and Smith, the legends so far at linebacker here for Miami this year. Palachek, the quarterback, with a 2nd and 10 for the Owls. 32 seconds before the end of the third period with a 41-0 lead by Miami. And here is Jenkins carrying for probably only about the 3rd time he's carried the ball today, running into Marley. Marley knocking him off his feet after a gain of roughly about 3 yards. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 7 yards needed here for the Owls.
Sam, you have to admire a guy like Rohan Marley. He comes from a very wealthy family, and he's 5'8", 200 pounds, and he just wanted to get out there and mix it up. His dad was one of the great reggae singers of all time, and he had an opportunity to go into the business, and he says, I don't sing, I play football.
And I sting. And he does. And the clock winds down, and that's the end of 3 here at the Orange Bowl on homecoming afternoon for the Hurricanes of Miami. And the number 1 ranked team in college football is showing their muscle, leading 41-0.
By special arrangement with Reader's Digest, we proudly present one of the most extraordinary music treasuries ever offered. Get 50 of the world's most loved Christmas classics, and here they are. Every selection is one of the world's most cherished and beautiful. Every star is one you know and love.
Sleigh bells ring, are you listening? In the lane, snow is glistening.
Have yourself
From Reader's Digest, the world's most loved Christmas songs. Call or send now to 50 Christmas classics. You'll hear celebrated choirs, glorious operatic voices, orchestras. Call or send for 50 Christmas classics now. From Reader's Digest, 50 of the world's most loved Christmas classics. Yours on cassettes or records for only $19.98, or hear them all on 2 long-play CDs for only $26.98. Be sure to order now.
The Miami Hurricanes. Nobody plays better than they do. And nobody covers the Canes better than CaneSport. 21 times a year, CaneSport takes you inside the locker room and inside the coaches' minds for the most comprehensive coverage anywhere. Each issue brings you complete game analysis, exciting action photos, and more. To order CaneSport, call 1-800-635-CANE. Or by mail, send $31.95 to CaneSport, Miami, Florida. CaneSport. Don't miss an issue. Order now.
We start the final 15 minutes of our ball game this afternoon. Sam Smith, Nat Moore, and Joe Rose at the Orange Bowl in Miami. The Canes leading the Temple Owls in Big East play with a score of 41-0. Tuning up for their big showdown coming up next week when they'll go to Syracuse against the Orangemen. Fredericks in motion for Temple. 3rd down. They need 7. Palachek back to throw. He's got a man, and it's complete. That's Tom Richards, the tight end. A senior from Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, makes the catch. And it's going to be shy of a first down. It'll bring up a 4th and short yardage needed here by the Owls. Ebers, the linebacker, makes the stop. Got into traffic, and also you see Bass, Robert Bass, number 49, also there. Well, they've given up 20 points as the second-team defense in 2 of the last 2 ball games in the 4th quarter. Let's see what they do today, Nat.
Well, you know, they've been under heat because of that, so I expect them to play well today, and you know, we'll see whether Rohan Marley can be that leader on defense to get them fired up.
4th down and 1, and the Owls are going for it here, and the handoff goes to Jenkins. He'll not make it as Bass meets him in the hole. So the defense holds. By the way, Chad Wilson, number 9, has been shaken up for the Canes. He's laying at the 40-yard line after Robert Bass makes the stop and throws the Owls back on the 4th down and 1 play.
Well, I think we've got the first answer to the question. You see Bass here getting penetration right up the middle, making the tackle and throwing the fullback back, keeping from gaining the first down.
Well, let me correct that. I think that's going to be Terrace Harris, number 6, rather than Wilson. It is going to be Terrace Harris, number 6, who was knocked off his feet back upfield and is being helped off as Jerry Burnt, just with his head ducked, saying it just hasn't been our afternoon again here today. Well, offensively for Miami, they'll be coming out with a lot of fresh faces as well. Frank Costa will still be the quarterback. At least we'll wait until they break the huddle and make sure here. As he's had himself quite an afternoon and already trying to add some numbers here. He's already got a touchdown pass to Copeland and would love to get a second one here. Got some talented receivers on the right. Instead, hands off to Ferguson. Danielle Ferguson broke all of the rushing records in Dade County. For those of you in the other parts of Florida and the country, Dade County very prolific in getting some great rushing running backs.
Here you see Ferguson just following Lemelski and that whole bunch right there, right up front, right up the middle on that right side, trying to reestablish the running game with that second unit.
Crispino made the stop for Temple. It's a 2nd down. They need only about 2.5, 3 yards. Handoff this time goes to Marucci. Jason powers his way to the 20. 1st down, Canes. Let's go downstairs to Joe Rose. Joe?
Thank you guys very much. As this game continues on, it's now the Canes 41 and the Owls are struggling. But the real people putting on the whole showdown here while the game gets boring is these cheerleaders. The Miami Hurricane cheerleaders have been putting a lot of work in and have been behind this team all year, and they do have a lot of fun.
Well, and I'm sure there are some seniors there that, too, are going through their final home game, saving, of course, an appearance by the Canes in the Orange Bowl here in their final appearance on the 51st consecutive win in the Orange Bowl by Miami. And now they'll be only 6 shy of the record set by Alabama at 57. This is Ferguson. Down to the 8-yard line. Enough for another first down. He gains a dozen on the play. Well, Danielle Ferguson already with a couple of 100 yards, despite the fact he's been used sparingly.
I'll tell you, he's a very mature running back to be just a freshman, a true freshman. Here you see him just, ducking in there instead of worrying about trying to get outside. A true freshman, usually, they're not mature enough. They want to get outside every time they carry the football. There you see him banging it up inside for a big gain.
Mike Hungerford, the reserve nose guard. Number 97 made the stop finally for Temple. Ferguson out of there. And Marucci back in, so it'll be Ferguson and Marucci on this drive. See what they can do. Tellison goes split to the left side. Harris and Jones to the right. Marucci with a carry. Down to the 3, to the 2. Fights to the goal line short by a yard. Nice play. Had some blockers in front of him doing the job they needed to do as well to open up a hole. And it was Bedroni, Jason Bedroni out of Philadelphia doing the job, number 69.
Right. You got Bedroni, Lemelski. You got Carlos Etheridge back in there because Perry got hurt. And they're just doing a good job of reestablishing the line of scrimmage to be able to run the football.
Tony Angelo was the man that prevented a touchdown along with Crispina for Temple, but it is second down and goal to go here for Miami. Costa, let's see if he dials in Ferguson for the touchdown. He's the lone running back. He pitches to him to the near sideline. Touchdown, Miami. Danielle Ferguson will step into the end zone for a touchdown, and a happy young man. Again, and originally signed to go to Notre Dame, but elected to stay right here at home with the Canes. And he couldn't have been more delighted for a coaching staff to see this young man in his freshman year scoring the TD.
Here you see the big number 65 there leading him in. That's Robert Woodruss, a member of that second unit that is doing a good job.
Well, an extra point, this will be number 39, and that's going to be Michael Swartz. Swartz has got a great big lid on there, too. Here's the kick up, and he has been practicing and gets it through and gets it in there. Well, just short of a half a century mark at 48. The Canes 48-0 leaders over the Temple Owls as homecoming starts to wind down here at the Orange Bowl. We still got 11:43 to go. Don't go away. Back on Sunshine in a moment.
Attention gardeners, now you can cut through tough, thick branches in seconds with Super Shears. The new ratcheting lever action pruning shears that give even soft, delicate hands tremendous cutting power. Watch and hear once again the powerful ratcheting lever action. Super Shears give you the strength you need to make fast, clean cuts without sore, tired, or blistered hands. Nothing stops Super Shears. Cut through things you never dreamed possible with ordinary clippers. Cut all day long without hand pain or strain. The new ratcheting lever action produces the power. The razor-sharp Teflon-coated blade provides the finest cutting edge. Together, they give you smooth, clean cuts that help plants heal fast. Call or send to Super Shears now and receive a quick guide to pruning trees, evergreens, bushes, and flowering plants. Look, the man on the left is using regular clippers to cut through this hardwood dowel. The boy on the right is using Super Shears. Look at him go. Proof positive that the power is in the Super Shears. Sir, try cutting that branch with regular clippers. Go ahead. Hurry up. What's the matter? Now try Super Shears. What do you think?
Incredible.
Prune all day, save your hands. Super Shears are not sold in stores. Call or send only $12.98 to Super Shears at this address now. You'll also get the illustrated guide, Pruning is Easy. Order more than one set of Super Shears and take $2 off every additional set you order. Order now.
Well, just about everybody's getting into the act now. This 48-0 lead by the Miami Hurricanes over Temple, including Danielle Ferguson. First career touchdown for the Canes.
First touchdown, but we'll see many more of this young man crossing the goal line. Good running, good blocking once again at the point of attack.
Woodruss, along with Kirk Kitey, you saw out in front of him there. Just over a couple of minutes to score from the 1-yard line, finally by Ferguson to take it up to a 48-0 lead here by the Miami Hurricanes. And kicking off is going to be Scott Barnwell. Barnwell kicking deep to the 11-yard line. Temple's going to have one of their better run backs of the afternoon. A flag, however, is down back upfield. And now some more altercations starting to break out on the field as, again, the run back coming straight ahead. Jeff Coles took it out to nearly the 35-yard line, but again, a flag well back upfield, and that should bring it back against Temple, it appears. Terry making the stop on the special teams for Miami. As you pointed out, Nat, one of the things that we've talked about all afternoon for Jerry Berndt, the fact that indeed it's not official, but there is an indication he will not be back. These young men are down to the #1 team 48-0. You're a long way from home. You can quit. And a lot of times when you give up an effort, that's when injuries start working. But credit to Temple, at least they're out there still trying to bang away a little bit, and a little frustrating.
Well, it's got to be frustrating. You're losing the ball game 48-0, and you're worried about your future as an athlete because the coaching staff that you've grown fond of, that you've worked with, might no longer be there next year. And you're playing the #1 team in the country. It's hard to stay motivated and not quit, but so far they seem to be still a little feisty. You've got some tempers flaring, but overall they're still playing. They're hanging in there, trying to play as tough as they can.
We'll pick up some new faces on that defense for the Hurricanes. Bethel, along with Johnson, a couple that we spotted as a handoff over the middle. And again, the Owls trying to keep it on the ground, to keep it respective here. Let's go back down to Joe Rose, who's been busy today. Joe?
Thank you, guys. You know, it's funny. We're sitting down here watching. A lot of the seniors, the starters for this University of Miami football team, are watching their backups and saying, hey, guys, we got a shutout. Let's keep this thing going.
That was one thing. It was a subject of conversation all week long. Hey, fellas, 20 points against Virginia Tech, 20 points against West Virginia you gave up in the fourth quarter. What is going on here? Well, none of that today.
Well, they've answered the question the first time they had a chance by holding them on 4th down, and offensively the second team has also answered the question by going in for a touchdown. So far the second team players are doing the job.
Mack with his second straight carry will get enough for the first down. He needed only a yard, as the Canes have a 4-1 advantage almost in total yardage this afternoon, over 414 yards for the Canes. And a first down for Mack as he carries the ball well. He has been one of three that they've used, Cabrera along with Jenkins and Mack. And Cabrera and Mack have been very good.
Yeah, here you see Mack doing a good job. He starts outside and he cuts back inside, and he just does a fairly decent job of keeping his feet moving, keeping his body lean forward so that he falls forward for big yardage.
Baraka Short, number 50, is also in there defensively for Miami at one of the defensive ends, is crashing straight up over the middle. Marley, one of the stoppers, along with Ebers, one of the linebackers, playing in there. And everybody getting an opportunity to get some play time today for the Canes as the Owls, well, they'll have a long trip back to Philadelphia. 1-9 with their final game against Rutgers coming up next week. Just kind of hoping this thing is over. 9:50 to play. Second down, 4 yards to go. In motion is Davidson, number 11. Belichick giving it again to Mack. Mack trying that little slant over the outside. It's had fairly good success as he gets it out near enough for the first down measurement before Robert Bass can circle him in. Bass from Brooklyn and Nassau Community College, a fourth-year junior, 6'2", 230.
You know, looking at what the Owls are doing here, you say you're down 48-0. Why are you running the football? But I think you have to give the head coach a lot of credit. They're still trying to give these kids some confidence. Let them run the football. Let them have some success because they don't want to turn that quarterback loose with everybody blitzing on every down coming after him.
Well, you saw Bass trying to commit, and on a third down try, they had committed and completed only 1 of 10. And the blitzing defense for Miami got him totally off guard. Mack could not get back to the line of scrimmage before Bass would fake the blitz and then came straight ahead. Will knock him down for a yard loss, and it's 4th down and 2. Temple appears to be bringing on their punt team, as again Short was also in there for Miami.
Right, here you see Bass making the hit in the backfield.
It's another one of those 9-7 dives we just saw.
Well, do we get another fake punt is the question.
Well, Hale is the man that did it before. Number 46, watch in. That, of course, is Shea you're looking at there, the punter. And Jonathan Harris, and there is that fake again. And Hale, for the second time this afternoon, will not gain 19 on this one, but he gains enough for the first down. And yes, they have used it, and yes, Miami has not adjusted to it that well.
Well, Miami did a better job. They were prepared for it, but they just wasn't strong enough to keep control of the line of scrimmage because they only needed a yard for the first down. But they did a good job of not getting hit with the big play.
So it's a 1st and 10 once again for the Temple Owls as they've got the ball at the 43-yard line. In their own territory. They have been in Miami territory, I believe, 3 times this afternoon. 2 of them down inside the 20, but failed to come up with any points. So the shutout is still intact. The Cane defense giving up an average of only 12 points per game. Palasak back to throw. Throws complete and knocked out of bounds up to the 45-yard line. A gain of 3. The receiver, number 90, Russell Casco. And Casco, as a matter of fact, has a couple of touchdown receptions despite the fact he's caught only 9 passes, that being number 10 so far, before Eberst can running him out of bounds, again after about a 3.5-yard gain. Well, there's streaks, some more of those fun-filled facts for you. The Canes have recorded 11 shutouts, at least one time in each of the seasons, and they're going for another in the juggler here with 7:40 to play in the game and leading 48-0. Frederick, number 1, in motion for Temple. Palasak back to throw. Again intended for Casco, and he cannot come up with it.
We're here we see the Owls have went back to their earlier game plan of trying to isolate the tight end on the linebackers. Now that Miami's taken out those speed linebackers, they're trying to isolate Casco on Eberst and take advantage of it. But there, Eberst came up and made the play. Shook the ball loose.
Checking some of those other people again. Sigler, number 34, is still in on the corner along with Chad Wilson at the other corner. They're playing Pearson and Richardson, I believe, at the deep. They do. We've set some of the linebackers for you. Here again is going to be Raphael Mack running with a vengeance into Miami territory as he gets it down to the 48. And Marley, man, had reached around to try to knock the ball away from him. You see the ball on the ground there, and you also see one of the Canes. Mack, good high step, good runner. And again, Bass was the one that finally made the stop on him at the other end of the run. Good look at Mack, a sophomore tailback, 5'11", 200-pounder.
You have to wonder, them going to the 3 wide receivers with as many talented tailbacks as they have is kind of strange.
That's
especially
Robert.
when you don't have a quarterback that can get the ball to him.
That, by the way, is Robert Bass, number 49, that is down for Miami.
Looked like he's just got the wind knocked out of him there, according to what they're doing there. And here you see him getting stuck by his own player, C.J. Richardson there. And I think he just got the wind knocked out of him a little bit there.
Won't be making a trip to the pizza parlor this afternoon, I don't think. 7:15 as the clock has stopped here in the fourth quarter of this ball game. As you see the clouds hanging over the Orange Bowl, it's been anything but a non-sunny day for the Hurricanes, and of course Bass getting up slowly. You know, before it gets too hectic, we would like to certainly thank a lot of folks, and of course our producer Tom Hastings, who has done yeoman work at all of our Orange Bowl football games for Sunshine. The athletic director Dave Maggart for the University of Miami, head coach Dennis Erickson and his staff, always very, very cooperative people, and we appreciate it. The associate athletic director for communications Larry Wall, sports information director Linda Benson and her great staff, and I mean they are super, second to none. Our spotter this afternoon has been Marty Saul, who's been with us off and on all year. Statistician Andrew Oskowski, a great job. And a special thanks to Tom and Maureen Piro, who have been with us all year long, getting us all kinds of information. And to Tom and Maureen, thank you very much for your yeoman work this year. A pass intended again for Casco, knocked down by Pearson, who almost came up with an intercept, and he had nothing but green grass in his way, but he just couldn't come up with the errant ball.
Palasak really got lucky there that he was able to throw a high pass that kept Pearson from being able to come down with a touch, because Pearson had this interception all the way. He read it perfectly. He breaks on the ball. The difference is it's a high ball, so all he could do is jump up and try and swat it away.
So on the fourth down play, the ball goes over to Miami, and we'll see some more new faces coming in for the Canes. And that will include a brand new quarterback, and that is Ryan Collins, I believe. Number 8 will step under center for the first time. Young man from Pembroke Pines, just a freshman redshirt. And he gives it off to Ferguson, and the freshman connection collaborates for about a 6-yard gain. Make it 5. It'll be second down and 5 yards to go for Miami as they wind it to 6:44 to go. Good look at Collins. Young man that played at Hialeah Lakes High School. So far has completed only 2 of 6 passes for 8 yards, but he does have a touchdown pass so far this year in the early goings. Second down, and indeed they do need 6 yards, so a gain of 4 on the play. Collins has trips to the left side. Gives it off to Marucci. Jason gets enough for another first down into Owl territory at the 39-yard line. Stopped by Roman Hale, number 46, who has had himself quite an afternoon defensively, along with Scott Dennis. Have not called Dennis's name quite as much as Hale, but Hale certainly has been very active, along with Crispina and Angelo. Defensively, they played a lot for Temple today.
Well, the Miami guards have done just an excellent job on the linebackers, the inside linebackers for the Owls, keeping them out of the play. And that's one reason that we haven't been calling Scott Dennis's number that much today.
They're going to give it another try here to Ferguson as he and Marucci are alternating at the running back spot. Ken Collins is getting a little anxious. He wants to try to throw that first pass of the afternoon, but right now the running game is going very well. Hale making the stop for Temple.
Well, Miami's doing two things here. They're running the football, working on their running game, but also doing the class thing by not running the score up where they're throwing the football, because even though that's Miami's type of offense, throwing the football two to three times out of every 4 downs, people would look at that as trying to run the score up.
Just a shade over 41,212 in attendance on homecoming today. As Marucci going for the first down, ducks his head and bows to right at the 30. Depends on the spot. They had to go just inside the 30 to about the 29.5 for the first down. They bring up 3rd and short, and it appears that it does. Singleton makes the stop. 48-0 Miami here at the Orange Bowl in Miami, going for their 51st consecutive Orange Bowl victory. And again, 57 is the all-time record by the Alabama Crimson Tide, and the Canes will have to wait at least a year or so to try to accomplish that. And off to Ferguson, steps over one of his blockers and goes to the 20-yard line. Simonette, number 66, was laying on the field after making his block, and he must have done a good job because the linebacker was not there.
There was no one there, and as you see, Daniel Ferguson, he does a great job. He has that knack of being able to cut back against the grain, step over the blocker, and get the first down.
Greg Liberty making the stop there for the Temple Owls. Joe Rose has stayed rather dry this afternoon on a day that looked like it could have been a rainy afternoon at the Orange Bowl. But so far it has stayed away outside of a light sprinkle early this morning. Now Collins looking at something that is not going right, and a timeout is going to be called. Stopping the clock with 4:01 left to play here in the game. A 48-0 score with the Hurricanes again in the lead. So as Miami trying to wrap up another home victory and send the homecoming crowd home with a victorious smile on their face. They've done such a good job so far, leading it by a lopsided margin.
On Sunday nights, where can I eye a ton of bears?
In your face.
Hey, Jim Kelly, Sunday nights, where do Bills really shine?
In your face.
ESPN Sunday Night NFL. Every week, it's where the best go face to face.
In your face. In your face. When the moon comes out, ESPN is in your face.
ESPN Sunday Night NFL.
Planning a vacation, a business trip to a foreign country, or possibly just want to improve your language skills? Experience the fun and excitement in learning a foreign language. The School of Modern Languages specializes in one-on-one teaching, by which you progress at your own pace. For more information, call 898-5555 and enroll today. Call 898-5555.
Au revoir. Hasta luego. Auf Wiedersehen.
The competitiveness of Courier, charm of Michael Chang, and outrageous attitude of Andre Agassi. Battle in Belgium for the European Community Championship. The finals, Sunday at 2 on Sunshine Network.
Again, a crowd of just over 41,000 enjoying the festivities with Miami leading. Let's go quickly to Joe Rose.
Thank you, guys. There are some 300 to 500 T-shirts down here in the Orange Bowl today, and I don't know if you can get over here, but they all say Toretta for the Heisman. And they're around promoting it today, and we'll just remain to be seen whether they get it, whether he gets it or not.
Well, the presidential races are over now. We don't have to worry about that anymore. And this is the most fun-filled one as Gino Torretta and his fellow seniors. Michael Barrow, though, holds the UM career records for yards passing, total offense, attempts, completions, 46 touchdown passes, 2 shy of another record there. And the list goes on and on. And he's got 2 big football games left with Syracuse and San Diego State on the road next week. And then on the 28th out at San Diego. And next week, I can't tell you how big that game's going to be with Syracuse. That'll be a good one.
Well, I think that's the difference in them winning the national championship or having a shot at it. If they can win the next 2 ball games, without a doubt, Torretta becomes the Heisman Trophy winner. Because not only is he one of the great football players in the country, or the best football player in the country, but he has led his team to back-to-back shots at national championships.
You know, when you think about Miami when they started off, and everybody was talking, yes, they went to Iowa, they won there, yes, they came back and beat Florida A&M, but then they seemed to struggle. The Arizona 8-7 win. Then people kept saying, is this the #1 team? Torretta's offense just looks sluggish. They're not very, the timing is not there. The offensive line is pretty poor. But boy, as this ball club just stayed together, they pulled together, and now they're in a situation to win a back-to-back national title.
Well, they had to rebuild that offensive line and develop some confidence there, and they've done that now, and you can see the big difference in just what they're able to get accomplished week in and week out now.
Well, the reserve front line are opening up the line for Marucci. Jason getting some yardage before Hale, who has gone all the way at inside linebacker for Temple, makes the stop here for the Owls. And this ball club would like to send them over the half-century mark with a touchdown here. A 42-yarder by Pruitt opened up the scoring 3-0. Donnell Bennett starred to make it 10-0. After a fumble recovery by Armstead, a 37-yard Pruitt field goal made it 13-zip. Torretta hit Tucker for his first touchdown at 20-zip. And then an 89-yard interception before the half by Sigler made it 27-0 at halftime. As Ferguson goes running out of bounds, and the only 2 scores in the third period came with Torretta to Kirkcaldy. Costa then came on to hit Copeland for a 41-0 lead, and then finally Ferguson scoring his first career touchdown to make it 48-0 for Miami. And that's the way the scoring has gone today here in the Orange Bowl. Third down play, 6 yards needed for Miami. As again, Ryan Collins is the quarterback, number 8. An offense that has averaged over 419 yards is run by that rather successfully this afternoon.
Very successful.
They also averaged 28.6 points, and they've got to double that as well. Here is Collins once again handing off to Marucci, and Marucci's knocked out of bounds as a flag goes down. And while all of that was happening, Dennis Erickson has just taken a bath on the sideline as they have dumped the Gatorade on him. And there is a very wet, very cold, but I'm sure very happy Dennis Erickson. But he calls the play, so he's still got to work a little here.
Yeah, he's still got 3 minutes and 10 seconds of work to do.
Oh, my. 4 Hurricane classes have graduated without losing a home game as we continue with the 51-game winning streak now at the Orange Bowl for Miami. And the hits just keep coming. But did you know it's over 22 million seconds?
Now, if you can give me the milliseconds, you've got something.
No. It's too late in this ball game at 3:10 left to play in the fourth quarter. Dad, it has been a pleasure working with you and Joe Rose. A great pleasure to work with a sensational football player and doing a great job in the booth. It's been my pleasure to be with you all this year.
Well, thank you, Sam. As you know, this is my first time, and it's been an honor to have someone, a pro like yourself, to teach me. So thank you.
Well, we hope the fans have enjoyed our coverage on Sunshine Network of Canes football. And again, 2 more games to go towards a national title. Collins throwing that first pass, and wouldn't you know it, somebody's going to come up and drop the football. And that someone that he'd be talking to is again Tucker, who had caught his first career touchdown pass, and that one couldn't have been much easier.
Well, you lay out and you make a great catch, a diving catch to score the touchdown, and then you're wide open and you drop one. So that just goes to show you that anything can happen no matter who you are.
Sebastian even saying, I could have caught that ball. But he may get another chance here as Tucker still in there at number 81. Simonette, by the way, is the center in the reserve here, and he'll be throwing the shotgun for the first time to Collins. I don't believe Collins ran the shotgun any other earlier times that we saw him. This could be an adventure, and now Collins is going to call a timeout. He didn't like what he saw, and he probably did get the ball when he wanted it too. So the timeout has been called, and Collins will troop to the sideline. And again, Dennis Erickson, who took a shower a little bit earlier this afternoon, has his team in the lead, 48-0, closing moments.
The Orlando Sentinel calls it important television, watched by the movers and shakers of the state. It's the highly respected public affairs show, Sunday in Florida. Sunday in Florida profiles the hottest political issues of the day with host Steve Wilkerson. Hear from Florida leaders and the press that covers them, all on Sunday in Florida, 9 till 10 a.m. Sunday on Sunshine Network, Florida's best.
Hello, Gov.
Hello.
Nice to meet you. Which beer do you think is brewed longer?
Drink that one.
Coors Extra Gold is brewed 70% longer than Bud.
I'm learning.
Righto.
Would probably account for the extra flavor.
And you know what? 65% of British beer drinkers prefer Coors Extra Gold.
I joined the multitude, then, do I?
Slow brewed for that real beer flavor and color. The way beer was meant to be. Ask any pub goer.
I'll give it you all right.
Yeah. Coors Extra Gold. If you're missing real taste, beer is back.
Tickles with the epiglottis. End of story.
Listen up, Miami Dolphin fans. It's time to air it out with your favorite gridiron heroes every Monday night on the Miami Dolphins Monday Night Magazine. Give them a call and see the game from their eyes.
Hi, this is Jimmy Cephala. Joining me for Miami Dolphins Monday Night Magazine. We'll take a look ahead to the Buffalo Bill-Miami Dolphin matchup. It's Monday at 7 right here on Sunshine.
Air it out with the pros who know on the Miami Dolphins Monday Night Magazine.
Live Monday night at 7 on Sunshine Network.
Beautiful skyline shot of downtown Miami with 3:03 as we pull back into the Orange Bowl here with the Hurricanes lead it 48-0 over the Temple Owls in our Sunshine Network coverage of Hurricane football as Erickson and company have done the number on the Owls and Big East play. Ryan Collins, the quarterback, has a 4th down play and 13 yards to go. He is not in the shotgun but under center Simonette. He is back. The draw goes to Marucci, and on a 4th down play, they will not get it, and Temple will take over the football at the 25. By the way, before we get too far removed on the closing moments of this ball game, again, some other assistant coaches. We mentioned the defensive coaches earlier on. Greg Smith, the assistant head coach, offensive line coach. Art Kehoe, assistant offensive line coach. Dave Arnold, tight ends and special teams. Rich Olson, newly added with the wide receivers and quarterbacks, and Alec Wood with the running backs, along with the defensive people we mentioned early on. Dennis Erickson truly has a class group of assistants to work with this #1 college football team. Temple will take over. Palachek again is the quarterback for the Owls. 2:55 left to play. He will have a breeze at his back, but a flag is down. I don't think he got it off. It looks like there's a flag down there anyway. Nonetheless, they are calling the timeout to Temple.
Well, you know, what's difficult, the scoreboard reads that that the Owls have no timeouts left. So this has got to be a penalty because they didn't have a timeout.
So the Temple Owls are credited with a timeout. Less than 3 minutes to go. We'll be back in just a moment.
The Olive Garden's new Roman pasta holiday celebration will have everyone speaking fluent Italian. See for yourself when you taste our generous portions of ravioli Antonello, chicken and artichoke mostaccioli, spaghetti carbonara, and our emperor-sized Roman holiday platter. So come celebrate our Roman pasta holiday, where for just a few lira, you too can learn to speak a little Italian.
Major League Baseball's Expansion Draft Special. Live Tuesday, November 17th. Find out who will be wearing a new Marlins uniform next season. A coin flip will decide first pick. Then, the Marlins and Rockies will fill out their rosters with experienced Major League players. Who will be the first Marlin? Find out Tuesday, November 17th. Live, beginning at 2 on Sunshine. Your home for Florida Marlins baseball.
The Temple Owls, after being assessed a penalty for taking an additional timeout, trailing 48-0 here at the Orange Bowl. And back to throw is going to be Palachek, and it's almost intercepted by the Hurricanes. A diving try deep in the secondary for the Canes, and try to come up with it. Number 48, that is going to be Marcus Carey. Boy, he almost got his hands on it to stick.
Yeah, he came close to making an acrobatic catch there with a one-hander, and just wasn't able to come down with the football.
Another flag is down against Temple with 2:48 and the clock stopped here.
I think that's against the Hurricanes, roughing the passer.
It is. I'm sorry. Palachek, after he let go of the football, he did take a pretty good shot there. So Palachek has had a rough afternoon, as has Mr. Lenhart. The two quarterbacks, and again, the Gatorade buckets are still on the move on that Hurricane sideline. Now, what do you think? Now, look at Mark Caesar's face. I mean, this is kind of like a little bitty kid in a china closet, but he is tougher than nails when he gets out on the field. It's amazing the change of personalities that you see. Speaking of personalities, and a stick coming straight ahead to make a good stop for the Hurricanes as they just completely claps it in right up the middle. Number 59 is going to be Hardy. Comes up and make the stop, and here is going to be the attack is on. Oh my, that's cold. Caesar has scored again, ladies and gentlemen. Et tu, Brute.
The Gatorade Brigade.
Under 2:20 to play. Temple with a second down and 10 yards to go. And back, Palachek. Pass complete to the near sideline and hustled out of bounds. Number 89, it is Bob Mitchell, a tight end. As he catches the ball, Ebers, the linebacker, number 61, makes the stop. Young man from Palmetto High School. One of the fifth-year seniors getting an opportunity to play in his final home game here at the Orange Bowl. Of the regular campaign, anyway. It all started, you may recall, back after the aftermath of Hurricane Andrew. Camp was moved up to Vero Beach. Went on the road against Iowa, came back home. Helped the devastation down in Homestead. It's been quite a year for the Hurricanes, and now they hope to culminate the whole activities as Hardy is going to get some help from his friends in knocking down the Temple running back. And another flag is down as a little pushing and shoving, extracurricular activity going on. Bethel, by the way, was one of the first to reach the running back, and then Hardy came in for the kill. One thing that you made mention of in one of our earlier ball games, and we too have gone over to some of the practice and just watch how tough some of the practices can be. I mean, they really put pressure on each other. The starters are challenging the second, third, and fourth guys to say, hey, if you want my job, come after it, big fella. And that's nice.
Well, I think that's what really have brought this here football team to the level that they're at now. They work harder during the course of the week in practice, and the game becomes just strictly fun.
So a personal foul marched off against the Temple Owls. Will back it up to a fourth down play, and it'll be, that by the way came on a dead ball call, so that's the reason the down did count. Jonathan Harris will be standing back at about his own 45 and wait this kick from John Shea.
Do we get the fake punt this time?
Well, let's see. How many yards he got to go? He's got to go 24 yards. I don't think so this time, folks.
Why not?
Why not? Let's try it again. He's had two. Both have been successful. Nope. Well, he even reached for it. Shea gets another one of those short kicks out of there, and it takes a Miami bounce, and it's going to be down to around the 45-yard line. And a man that came over to down at 4, the Owls, number 42, Jason Thompson. And it'll be the Hurricanes football after only a 24-yard punt off the toe of John Shea. Will not help his 32-yard average, as the seniors indeed have had themselves quite an afternoon in this ball game. You saw the very mischievous Mr. Thomas going over and saying, Coach, well, you deserved everything. And, of course, Torretta wrapping up another successful day in his quest of the Heisman. Gino Torretta, many thought, can he live up to the news and all of the things the other quarterbacks had done? The question is being answered by Torretta, yes. As he, in his quest of the second Heisman that has been won here at the university. Of course, Vinny Testaverde the other. On the other side of the coin, what if we had a little bit more personnel? What if we'd come in here with a little different situation? The Owls will just have to take that back home with them to Philadelphia and try for another year.
Right, they've got a lot of rebuilding to do, and they've got a junior and senior ball club themselves where they're just trying to walk out of here today to gain some experience with the young guys, because they got a lot of good young players. But you've got to get used to winning. When you go 1-9, it's kind of tough to build that winning attitude.
Marucci gets the handoff from Collins, and up for the first down to the 29. They'll stop the clock momentarily to reset the change. It is stopped at 22, and the Canes probably will not get another play off because the clock will be whirled into motion once the chains are set. And this ball game will be in the record books. And Jerry Byrne They have indeed coached his last game for the Temple Owls against the Miami Hurricanes as the storm clouds are gathering. And the clock is winding down, and you'll hear this crowd enjoying the final moments of the 51st consecutive victory for Dennis Erickson's Miami Hurricanes. Of course, he's had some predecessors along the way have helped build the string, but he adds to it with a convincing 48-0 win over the Temple Owls here this afternoon at the Orange Bowl. More importantly, they also add to their winning streak, which is now mushroomed to 27 straight games, and the showdown with Syracuse comes up next week again at the Carrier Dome in the final game at San Diego State on the 28th. But there's smiles and happiness all around with another big victory and a shutout at the Orange Bowl over Temple.
Where do Saints pray to be on Sunday nights?
In your face.
Yeah. Hey, Boomer, where can I see a Bengal roar?
In your face.
ESPN Sunday Night NFL. Every week, it's where the best go face to face.
In your face. In your face.
When the stars come out, ESPN is
In your face.
Planning a vacation, a business trip to a foreign country, or possibly just want to improve your language skills? Experience the fun and excitement in learning a foreign language. The School of Modern Languages specializes in one-on-one teaching, by which you progress at your own pace. For more information, call 898-5555 and enroll today. Call 898-5555.
Au revoir. Hasta luego. Auf Wiedersehen.
Three touchdown passes, a couple of running touchdowns, an interception for a TD, and a couple of field goals. 48-0, Miami all over Temple, and a happy Dennis Erickson is down below with our man, Joe Rose.
Thank you very much, Sam. And with me, of course, Coach Erickson. And, Coach, you got to be very happy with this, especially the way the 2s and 3s played today.
Yeah, they played very well. It was the 1s came out and played well, and in the second half, the 2s came out. I thought Costa threw the ball extremely well. Had a couple dropped, and offensive front and defense. So, I mean, it was just a great effort. I'm glad we could play like we did.
How do you get your team going in? I know you can say a lot of different things, but the motivation factor for this ball game.
Well, the seniors playing their last game here, and that's the biggest thing. They've done so much for this program over the years, and them just playing their last game was enough.
Syracuse next week, no secret. Everybody's been talking about it for a couple weeks now. Your thoughts?
Well, that's going to be there. They've got a great football team. I think they got a game at 3:30 that they got to play before they play us. So they're a great football team, great program. We're looking forward to going up there and playing in the Carrier Dome.
Okay, congratulations again, Coach.
Thank you.
Okay, back up to you, Sam.
Thank you very much, Joe Rose. Congratulations to Dennis Erickson in his 4th year. He wins number 42 against only 3 losses and now heads for the showdown against Syracuse. We'll be back with more of our post-game wrap-up here from the Orange Bowl in Miami after this timeout on Sunshine Network. Well, you have a feeling that the celebration of this homecoming victory, 48-0 over the Temple Owls, is going to go on for a long, long time. Joe Rose has one of the reasons this celebration will go on, a man that's in the chase for the Heisman Trophy, and the man that led the attack today, Gino Torretta of the Miami Hurricanes. Joe?
Gino, first of all, congratulations on another big home win.
Thank you. We're perfect in the Orange Bowl as seniors. It feels good.
I got to tell you, first of all, I want everybody to know we're both from Northern California, which is in itself is very special back here. But, Gino, have you thought anything about the Heisman?
Not really. I just try to go out there and play and win ball games. I know next week we got a big ball game coming up, and then the end of the season against Falk. It's just going to be, the same things we've done all year, basically win another game.
Have you thought about the Syracuse game before the Temple game? Was it on your mind at all, or are we just taking it one at a time?
No, we take it one at a time. We knew we had a victory, but we knew we had to go out and play it today. But it's definitely we're going to have to get prepared for next week.
How's the team get up for a game like Temple? No question, everybody knew they're one of the bottom teams in Division I.
Well, it's pretty easy. First of all, because we were all seniors, we wanted to go out with class our last game. I think that was the main driving force of getting us up for this game.
How special, the 19 seniors? You guys look very close and looked like a little emotional today for the whole thing.
It did. I mean, it's the last game. We were kind of getting emotional before the game, but we're all right now. No tears.
Okay, well, I'll put my vote in for Gino for the Heisman right now, and we'll take it back up to you, Sam.
Thank you, Joe Rose. I think he knows a sure winner when he's got one. As Gino Torretta again with another big day. He came up with a couple of touchdown passes this afternoon. And quite obviously, when he throws the touchdown passes, everybody in this stadium really gets excited. He is on a roll right now, Nat.
Well, he is the leader of that offense. He has been able to, over the years, win 21 Well, 22 victories, and here's the reason why. His ability to get outside the pocket and find that open receiver as he goes to Kevin Kirkcaldy here in the second half with a 3-yard touchdown.
That, of course, is the present with Gino Torretta throwing touchdown passes. But one of the things that you have to look forward to is there's still some more arsenal of weapons coming ahead. Danielle Ferguson scores his very first career touchdown for the Miami Hurricanes, the running back from right here in Miami. And Danielle Ferguson will be heard from before this is all over, I know.
Right. Danielle Ferguson is a true freshman that has tremendous running ability, but here you see him coming out on the quick pitch, and he shows the toughness that's necessary to be a good back in major college football, where he sticks his nose in there and gets the touchdown.
Well, just a freshman, and you know there's a lot still to come. Look at the numbers that Miami rolled up today, over 446 total yardage. Temple put some numbers on the board, but again, they had the 3 turnovers, Nat, and that really hurt them early on, I thought.
Well, turnovers will always stop you from being successful. You can't afford to let the other team take the ball away unless you are taking it away from them. And Miami is just a football team that do not give the football up. They take good care of the football.
Punctuation mark on this 1992 football season with 2 games to go, Nat Moore.
Well, I'd have to say that Miami, without a doubt, is the best team in the country. They are peaking at the right time. They're looking to go into Syracuse next week in the Carrier Dome, and they are primed to go in and beat Syracuse there.
Nat, I've enjoyed the year. Thank you very much. I'd like to remind you, coming up on Sunshine Network, there's still some football, and we'll turn to the pros. The Miami Dolphin Monday Night Magazine live at 7 p.m. tomorrow night. Joe Rose and Nat Moore will join Jimmy Cefalo. Check your local listings. And don't forget also, they'll be picking the men that'll play for the Marlins, the Florida Marlins Expansion Special, Tuesday, November the 17th, live at 2 p.m., all right here on Sunshine Network. Well, it's been a great year for us on Sunshine Network and a big homecoming victory. The Hurricanes over Temple, 48-0. For Nat Moore, Joe Rose, Sam Smith, good night, everybody, and so long. Sunshine Network has presented University of Miami Hurricane Football. Brought to you by Old Milwaukee and Old Milwaukee Light. It doesn't get any better than this. And by the Olive Garden Italian Restaurants, where all the best of Italy is yours.